city. I mean, I'm pretty sure we're going to be in the terms of where exactly we want to stay full time. So, yeah, the I pretty much we're pretty much starting fresh. Um, we've been married for a minute, so we've had things hand down to us from parents and relatives, things of that nature. But it was just about time to kind of give those all away to brother and sisters that needed it. And we're pretty much going to buy whole new sets. So we're pretty much going to have to buy a whole new house here in a few months. But yeah, it's good times, man. It's good to be out of East Texas. It was a little bit too country for me. Now we're back more in the city area, which I like a lot better.
I liked Central Texas, man. I'll be honest with you.
Central?
I don't know if Central Texas. That's like Austin, right? That's north of
Oh,
Austin,
okay.
Round
That's
Rock.
Central. Okay, sorry. I'm thinking
Yeah,
Barron,
Round
Texas.
Rock. I think Central Texas be like San Antonio's a little bit central. Um, New Braunfels is there. All that like that area. The river floats in Texas were fire, bro. That's one thing that Texas had to do right was in the summer you go and it's free. You bring a tube and you just float rivers for hours on end. Um, I I don't I haven't lived in another state where they do that commonly. Texas, they do it though. I don't know about where you're at, but at least in Central Texas, they do.
Well, no, when you said Central, I was thinking of there's a lot of just barren small towns all scattered around Central Texas. But yeah, if you're talking about the big cities, I mean, in the relative size of Texas, those are technically in small areas. But everywhere else, Central Texas is just wilderness and small towns like you see in the movies. But hey, if you like nature and stuff, man, that's people feel at home there. A lot of campgrounds and stuff. You just gotta watch out for animals, wild animals and stuff.
Bro, I actually graduated college in Central Texas. I went to Texas A&M Central Texas, and so I was there for like 4 years. I know Texas, bro. I think every time we talk, I tell you I know Texas. I'm more Texas than Jerry. Where's Jerry? No, I can't do Jerry like that.
Wait, so what made you want to move to where you at, California?
Dude, I grew up here in California.
Oh, okay.
Um, I grew up in like San Diego County, and then went off to college. Originally went to college in Montana, and then I played football. I was on a football scholarship, and joined the army afterward. Joined the army afterwards, and while I was in the army, I started school at Central Texas or Texas A&M, and finished the army and finished college there in Central Texas, and then moved to North Carolina. And then from North Carolina, I came back here. Like I was in a part of North Carolina that just didn't have a lot of opportunity, and I was like, you know what, I'm going back to California. I'm gonna get a good job and buy some land in the area that I knew where I grew up, and build a house or remodel a house or some shit. I don't know. I had a plan, kind of, in a sense, and I think it's important if you have a goal in mind. Like this, just is everything. You set your goals, like set your threes, your twos, your threes, your 5 year goals, and it's not going to be a straight line. You're not going to go from A to B. It's like a zigzag, and there's obstacles and there's things you're jumping over, and like, it's never a straight line to your goals. But if you have it in mind and you like continue to work towards your goals, you can get there. And that's all I did. I just knew what I wanted to do when I came out here, and I eventually was able to make it happen. And it was perfect timing because I had told Shauna or Shaw before she deployed, because she had a deployment, and then she was getting out of the army. So I left. We dated at a distance for like a year or 2 years, because I went early while she deployed to California to make sure I could secure like a house and get something situated for her to get out and go back to school. So that's what I did. I came back here afterwards, and then she ended up moving out here from North Carolina when she got out of the army. So I had like I said this shit like what do you spoke it into existence like 2 years prior like I'm gonna do this this and this and then I came out here and it just kind of like happened. You just I don't know. But yeah, that's how I ended up here, bro. Or back
So
here.
which one would you say you like more?
Over which over all those states that I've lived in. I lived in Idaho
Yeah,
too.
out of all of them. Yeah, out of all
Um,
of them.
Probably Texas. But Montana was great. I was living in eastern Montana though. And eastern Montana is just flat. It's like flat plains, like North Dakota almost. It's like extended North Dakota. Western Montana, and Western Montana and northern Idaho is where I was living for a little bit, and that is the most beautiful part of the country, in my opinion. Like uh, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, moving into western like Missoula, Montana. It's all green and mountainous. It's a beautiful area of the country. So if we're going by just pure beauty, probably that area. If you want to literally have access to all types of terrain and snowboarding, the ocean, the desert, then California. California has literally every type of environment you could imagine. Texas was just cool in general, man. It was just a lot of cool cities. North Carolina was all right, man. It was just so fucking humid and freezing in the winter. But where have you lived? Where you all lived at? Sophie, you live. Where have you lived? I know you're in New York.
Do you know where? No, I know you know that, but do you know where I'm from
Philly,
before New York?
Philly, right?
Yeah, that exactly. You knew.
Yeah, yeah, but
That's it. That's it. No, that's literally it. I'm not as cool as you. I don't have a world tour to walk through.
no, no, it's not. It's not about being cool. It's about like being completely indecisive with my life. Do you know how many times that I've just completely sold everything or just like gave everything away and just said, all right, I'm picking up and completely starting fresh. It's been like 6 times now. It's like, all right, I gave everything away, my vehicle, all my stuff, like I gave it all away and just joined the army randomly. And I didn't realize that getting out of basic training that I would need a vehicle. Like where I just dropped everything and just did it. I've done that multiple times. It's not about being cool. It's about just I don't even know what it is. Mental illness.
Doesn't it suck? Like if you ever do it again, you just don't give away your clone because like it doesn't hold any weight. So like I can't come to you and be like, "Yo, you're moving on. Just give me that clone, bro."
No, I know. I just bring the ledger with me, right? It's the digital asset aspect of it. I don't know what I was thinking in my younger age, like to hey, you're joining the army, like give your vehicle to just sell your vehicle and sell this and sell that and all this shit. Like basic training is only 4 months. You need a vehicle after the 4 months. But in my mind, I was like, I'm starting fresh, going to a different state, whatever. I'm starting fresh. Yeah, I don't know. You learn though. You learn as you grow. I did that multiple times until I finally was.
I know exactly. I have a friend
You know what I'm talking about? You've
who,
done it.
not me, but I have a friend who's like a cop, and he's going down to like North Carolina or something like that. So he had to get rid of his like favorite prized possession car, and my friend bought it. Um, but like that sucks. You have like a crazy like I don't know what it was. It was like the first like Cobra. Like it actually has like the Cobra. I think it's called the Shelby Cobra. I'm not even sure. But he got one of those. It was sexy. Ugh, it's crazy.
What is a Shelby Cobra?
I think that's what it is, man. Like this like a car and it has like a Cobra as like the emblem. Uh, you don't know what it is? Bro, you
It's
should
a
tell me.
it's a Mustang.
Mustang. I don't even know, bro. I don't know cars.
It's a company that makes these specific custom Mustangs or like upgraded type Mustangs. Yeah, dude, I don't know, man. When I dropped everything and left California to go to college in Montana, I did it. When I dropped everything in Montana to leave to go back to California and join the army, I did it. When I dropped everything from California to or from there to go to Texas, like multiple times. I think it's more so just trying to find your place in this world, or trying to find what you're passionate about, trying to find what you want to do, in a sense. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if it's normal. I'm the only one, though, huh? I'm the only
You're
one.
mad normal, bro. I'm just searching up this car right now.
Everybody in here is making me feel like I'm the only one who's ever just dropped everything and moved multiple times.
I drop everything and do that like life 360 that you're talking about, but the only difference is like I'm stuck in the same city.
Maybe it's, yeah. I mean, it's almost the same. Where you're just kind of fed up with kind of what you're doing, like your current job, or what you're what you're working on, or however you're building, and you just kind of revamp entirely, start a whole new thing.
100%. I know we relate on that too.
Yeah, no, I've done that. And I think that, like, when I moved to California, I was a project manager, right? And I didn't initially come out here doing that. I was working in tech, and I got a job interview with a construction general contractor because of my background at working in like low voltage, like installation and tech. And they worked me into a junior project management role. And I was having, I loved the job. It was great. And I thought that that was something that I would want to do for a long time, but I didn't end up, like, after 3-4 years, it just wasn't what I wanted to do. I was like, I don't know if I want to work in this type of construction, or like project management, right? There's project management in almost every industry, but construction project management, I've realized that it wasn't something I wanted to do. I wanted to shift more towards Web3, right? I wanted to be around working on the blockchain and working in crypto, Web3, NFTs. Like, this is where all my free time from work, I was spending in this space anyways. So, yeah, that was another transition I did as well. So I'm right there with you, Sophie. I get it. So I didn't get the X key crate today. Did anybody with a kid called Beast grab another key? Did anybody have a key at all?
Wait, I'm so checked out. Tell me what I missed.
So there were 100 keys that clones got to claim. Yesterday, we all, like 100 clones, got to claim these free keys, and one of the keys opened up a crate, and they won a free clone. So there was a free clone up for grabs. And if all those keys didn't work, all the keys that didn't work, like, you're still able to win the next box.
Yeah,
There's crates. There's multiple crates being open.
yeah, and I actually want to jump into that, man. I spent an hour, just doing my normal thing, what I normally do. Deep dive into it. I mean, hey, hats off to them, bro. Uh, they have it. They're very. It goes very deep. It's deeper than just like, the concept of it is amazing. I'm just surprised that they just pretty much gave these things away for free. I mean, I'm pretty sure they could have got away with selling these for about $100 or so, but that's not the route they chose to go down. They're going to be dropping these drones, which are pretty much like playable characters, that are pretty much like, it's in a trait style like the clones, where there's 9 DNAs. And then they have traits on top of them, which are bodies, heads, torsos, buddies, all that stuff. I think there's 12 different traits, so 9 DNAs, 12 different traits. Each 9 different DNA is a totally different biome. So they come from a totally different planet. They have a whole different storyline. The lore and everything is all already on their website. They explain clearly how the games pretty much work. And then they even drop some alpha where, depending on what DNA you get, and there are some rare DNAs, but depending on which DNA you get, if your DNA wins for that month, everybody that holds a drone playable character NFT from that faction, you all share the royalties. So all the royalties get split among all the holders of that drone. They also have a renting feature, so if you don't want to play the game, but you want to rent out your faction playable characters, like they have a system to where you can rent it out for like 0.05 like Ethereum, for instance, so other people can participate in the game if you want to just more invest. I'm just gonna say this right now. Um, when we get to the lore in the website update, I would honestly seriously like for it to be outlined the way that it is on their site, because every tab that you click on, it gives you every single bit of information regarding to that one thing. X keys, pretty much every single key is deflationary, and over time the prizes are going to get bigger and bigger and better and better, and there will be less and less keys available. So eventually there'll be like 25 keys, and there'll be like, $30,000 X crate. That's kind of what they want to do. They want to grow the X key crates, and they want to grow the drones, with traits and abilities as the player base increases, and they have it all explained out. So I'm actually like, I'm just really surprised by how much. I thought it was just a silly little game, but it's actually pretty crazy. So I'm doing my deep dive as usual.
It's
So,
definitely cool, you know.
so every time someone opens one, that key's out of the circulation, and if you forget or you don't like attempt to open the crate, that key gets burned or it gets access denied, so it becomes stationary.
No,
Is that what he said?
no, not every time that you don't win. There's basically every time they give away a prize, there's only one winner. So if there's 500 in total, and they're still giving out X keys, I think Azuki holders are tomorrow. If they're still giving out X keys, they're going to give out 500 in total. And right now, since there's already been one winner, so there's been one key that's been burned. So now there's 499 keys. And they're going to be doing a Kid Called Beast NFT tomorrow that us as clones, because we have an X key, are able to put our key in and see if we win or not. But me personally, I kind of hope I don't win. I hope I can hold on to my key for like a year and a half and get some of the bigger prizes they're going to have towards the end. Because they're more than likely, I wanted to ask him this next, but he had to go. According to their website, is deflationary. So then my question is, once all the keys are gone, are y'all going to drop like another one, or like how is that going to work as these get down to like under 100 keys? And also, you can pick up multiple keys, and when you go to try to open it, it'll go and use all the keys in your wallet, at one time. And if you have one of the keys, it will open that. It only burns the key when the person who has the winning key opens it. If they don't open the crate within, I think, 72 hours, it then chooses somebody else, and they'll send out another email saying, hey, there's a new chosen winner now. So it just keeps going until somebody opens it with a key and it gets burned. It's actually a really cool idea, I'm not gonna lie.
No, I wasn't saying that if you don't hit that it goes away. Someone said earlier in the chat that if you don't attempt to use it, like tomorrow for the Kid Called Beast, if I don't go attempt to at least try to open the crate, then my key becomes void for the moving forward. Somebody said that. I might have misheard
Oh,
though.
that would be crazy. I'm not sure it works. I feel like
Like you have
everybody
to
has
stay
to attempt it.
you have to stay engaged with it. Like you actually have to go attempt to open these things.
Yeah, but what happens if it's on a day like you're not around your computer? Like what? You have 24 hours? Like how long is it gonna open? Like you're screwed.
Yeah, no, you're screwed. You gotta stay plugged in, I guess, to the matrix. Like we were plugged in all day to this matrix.
Player one.
No, but they've been doing them back to back. So like today was the clone drawing, and then they dropped a Kid Called Beast keys, and tomorrow is the Kid Called Beast. I see Anubis down there listening, and POV. POV God is a Kid Called Beast. Anubis, if you're listening and they're still available, dude, you got a Kid Called Beast. You should get your key. But so then tomorrow, somebody just said that it was an Azuki giveaway. Like they're just going back to back to back. What do y'all think about the technique? Like I think it's kind of a cool way to drive interest to your project by kind of maybe doing some gamified stuff with existing collections and existing communities, right? You point out some of the stronger communities, and then you give away free keys that are giveaways, and
Did
then
you listen to the space?
I wasn't able to. No, I was running errands for them.
So
Dude,
it's really cool because they dropped some alpha. They said that they have liquidity because they're an actual game. So they're bringing in like $200,000 of revenue every month or something like that, you know? And these small prizes that they're giving away is obviously great for them because it's just a small prize if they're bringing in 200K. You know, they're spending what 5K a month on these prizes, and they're getting everybody in Web3 hyped in the best ecosystems. That's really how you get a community. People know about your project, they talk about your project, and now they're gonna engage. You know, like everybody's going to talk about it. It's how it works.
yeah, I had questions for them because I was like, they started that space, and I was reading on their website. I'm like, hold up, where are they getting all this money from? Because it wasn't making any sense. And he explained they're running advertisements in the game. They're doing sponsored collabs. So, like for instance, CloneX or Artifact, they could do a egg prize in one of the crates, and if you win the game, you get an animus egg because you can also win prizes by actually playing the game. The X key crate is a totally different system. So there's pretty much two things going on. One's a game, and one's pretty much like a grand prize.
It
I
kind of
thought
like the modern day airdrop technique with like a little bit of gamification, of course. But this is cool. The only problem is they haven't been posting this stuff on Threads. And in case you guys don't know, I live on Threads now. I did pull a compound, and I packed my stuff up, and I moved to a new place. And I love it. So I highly recommend checking it out because I miss Artifact, I miss Clones, and I miss Bad Take Crew over there.
you packed up and moved everything over to Threads, so I'm going to Threads. This place is
I'm
too.
funnier. I'm funnier over there too.
They think they think I'm funny. They like my content over there. Yo, then maybe I need to go over there.
It's way better. Like seriously, like some of you guys would thrive on Threads, and I don't want you to sleep. I just want you to remember that in July 2023, Sophie did come up here and give you all a fair warning.
Y'all notice how Threads dropped? It like had 79 million signups. I think it's down a lot though. I think it's 13 million active users right now, which is a ton. But then out of nowhere, Twitter starts sending out checks to creators. Like as soon as they have a little bit of competition, oh, now the checks are coming out to people, huh? As soon as there's a little bit of competition, it's funny how they do that. It just takes a little pressure, like
The first update was today, and it's already a lot better. There's a lot of things in the works, and the one thing that Twitter still really isn't in terms of like decentralization is that you can't actually take your Twitter stuff and go anywhere else. And you'll be able to do that there. So just thinking long term and a little bigger, you know.
Yeah, my thing is with threads, as soon as they add spaces, then it'll be a competitor in my eyes. I don't really have too much to say in tweets other than my threads that I post, but in spaces is where I just trying to chill. Like today, yeah, they had a space. I was like, hey, let me take this opportunity to try to get some questions answered. And you can actually get a genuine feel for people behind projects and actual people themselves that is a little bit harder to do in the actual like post. So as soon as Thread starts doing that for me, hey, I mean, we'll see how it is. There's some things on Twitter Spaces that I wish that they would implement. Some cool features that I think will be great. I don't understand why they don't have scheduled tweets yet on mobile. It's only on desktop. And 50% of the time when I schedule a tweet, it doesn't go through, which is annoying. So yeah, Twitter still has a lot of stuff they got to clean up, and they better hurry up because Threads they're coming out swinging for sure. And those checks, I mean, what was it, Mister? If Mister Beast is only getting like 20 something $1,000, you can't really make um, the average person can't really make a living off of it. But it's a cool feature though.
Wouldn't you want to build your following now before the spaces and audio and all those features drop so you're like ready at that moment?
I mean, for me, I mean, this is probably gonna sound just, I don't know how this is gonna sound, but for me, I, I get the sentiment around followings, but I just do and post and say whatever I want for fun. And then I just like talking to people. So, I mean, I forgot who told me. Somebody told me that, hey, doing threads would grow a following. But I mean, even if nobody reads them, I'll still post out threads because it's just an easier way for me to put my thoughts down on paper. But I mean, yeah, it's cool. I mean, I don't really understand how growing follow. I never, I graduated high school before Instagram and Snapchat and all these things were a deal. So all we really had was Facebook, and it was just your parents on there. And I just never really did the social media deal, uh, which saved me lots of headaches because most of my guy friends they where they mess up is on social media anyway. So for me, man, it's just a hobby. It's just, somewhere to come, chill, put some thoughts out there. But yeah, I guess we'll just have to see. I just want a good space to talk to people openly, like in spaces. So that's why I was saying, like, for me, and this might be different for other people, but for me, all Threads has to do is say, hey, we have all these cool features for chat, group stage type of deals, and I'll be all down for it.
Have any of you guys seen Instagram's broadcast channel?
No, no. What is it?
It pretty much turns your like group chat into what I guess it's like a Discord announcement in terms of like comparing it to how something else functions, where like it's locked channel, so like the admin can add their people and or like Telegram, and you can just send messages out to those people in the group. So like a lot of people are using that right now for because it's all integrated. You need to have a Instagram to have a thread, so like personally, I've been getting a lot of DMs on Instagram, and it's just like getting DMs on, Twitter. And then the group chats are the same in terms of like, a chat. Technically, you can even video chat, which like isn't really something possible in here yet. And then there's that broadcast, which is like becoming a new thing I've been seeing.
I did a kind of little personal case study. I was posting something on Twitter and then the identical stuff on something on Threads, and the engagement on Twitter was better, but also I use Twitter more, so maybe I have the algorithm kind of a little better here. So maybe I just need to put a little bit more time into Threads, or maybe I just need to get a little bit more creative. You know what I mean? Have some personality
You
over there.
have to post a meme. Like, you should see the culture on Threads right now. It does not compare to my engagement on Twitter, meaning my threads is like popping.
Hey, does hashtags even work on threads? Because I don't feel like they
No, they,
No,
do.
they don't. They do not. They do
Oh,
not.
okay.
They will eventually once they roll out the feature, but I feel like it's kind of crazy because I'm the complete opposite. I've abandoned Twitter, to be honest. I only use Twitter for spaces, and the large majority of clients I've been getting came from threads because a lot of the contacts I have are adjacent to the content creator community. So that's YouTubers, that's OnlyFans people, models, and cosplayers, and a wide variety of shit. And for the first time they actually see what you're posting to them in real time. Compare that to having to comment to someone's picture or reel versus trying to reach out via DM or a story reply that they may or may not see versus threads where as soon as they post something I actually see it because the way I have my own stuff set up I have notifications on for very specific key accounts, not all of them. I'll follow everyone, but the notification is definitely underrated in the way it's being used. So I essentially curate my own feed that way.
I've done the same thing, seen the same positive feedback that you shared. Also with Threads though, um, I'm trying to think how to explain it. It's like TikTok, the like feed algorithm. So it's very updated, and it's like, you know, your reach is crazy because you're not going to have just your, you know, like suggested on Twitter, how it's like people you don't just follow. It's like that. So the reach is crazy. People will like my stuff and like they've never even seen my account before.
Just be careful to not funnel yourself because the culture of Twitter that's very Web3 centric does not translate well over to the Threads app and the people that use it. So you could spam GM all you want and find your people, but from the outside, everyone who's looking at your stuff is going to see you as a bunch of bots and they will be less likely to interact with you. So, make of that what you will.
Yeah, we're gonna do a case study. We'll see. Um, that is good. That is good advice, Wiz. Like that's it. That applies everywhere. Like you do start to people start to look like bots over on Twitter, and when outsiders look in, they probably see just a bunch of cartoon pictures. They don't know what the difference is. All just saying a bunch of the same shit and having our own inside jokes. I don't know. I kind of like it here, but I also see why. I kind of see why, like their side of the story. I see what they look and they go, "What the heck are they doing over there, bro? What are those NFT MFers doing?" Franklin just posted something where he said he put a comment on like normie Twitter and he got absolutely roasted by some girl because he has a PFP picture. And I'm like, damn, dude, we are a small space that is still has a lot of room to grow. Uh,
I mean, I feel like that's subjective, right? Because the space is not small. In terms of the kind of business that endorse what's happening on the blockchain and tech side, really, um, the team, I forgot the name of it. I think it's Chelsea. It could be Chelsea or Manchester, but these guys formerly have endorsed Tezos. And in case some of you are not aware, Tezos is in the top 10 most traded chains out there right now. Ubisoft actually has made Tezos their home of choice for their upcoming games that they're working on that's going to integrate NFTs into multiplayer games they're developing. And over on the Bitcoin side, a wide variety of big name artists are starting to use it, including Snoop Dogg for inscription purposes, because you can do that now with ordinals and whatnot. So for me, it's more so of a case of I'm done being a Jehovah's Witness and preaching the gospel of NFTs to people. I'll just do what I'm doing and solve real problems, and then tell people, hey, the thing that you're looking to have solved, there's an efficient way to do that and give you 100% of the revenue with no middleman. That's what perks people's ears, Like, it doesn't matter how many times you yell "wag me" at them; they won't give a shit.
I actually took that on about a year ago. I stopped telling like preaching NFTs to people that like had no interest, right? If they have interest or if they find it, then I'm here, man. I'll teach you anything you want, right? If someone comes to me and they want to learn the blockchain or crypto or NFTs, like I'll be an advocate, right? But I'm not going out like knocking on doors and trying like come join us, come hang out, like because it's not necessary. Once the right people figure out the underlying technology and what the use cases could be for these kind of things in the space, they'll come, eventually. It's just hard on yourself personally to go out to all your family and friends and try to explain to them why it makes sense to you because it ain't always going to make sense to them. You know what I mean? And you're just going to burn yourself out and drain yourself when you could be spending that time around other people that have kind of see the vision or have it figured out, and you could be sharing ideas with them, and people that are interested will come to you and just ask you about it, and then you can go from there, right?
So real quick, I'll give you the sauce and then I'll lob it back to Shadow over there. If you're really trying to make a business out of this Web3 knowledge that you have, you know who you need to be speaking to? Speak to two people. Speak to lawyers, speak to real estate people. Because inherently, a lot of what they do, use case wise anyway, applies to the space, and especially from the angle of the smart contract and all these other interoperability elements. um, Yesterday I attended a private seminar where a bunch of notable people were there, but the thing is, these were not entertainment people. These were high profile international lawyers and real estate agents, people that own $10 million property, that type of shit, and they had zero clue what NFTs or blockchain and the technical side of that is. But as soon as I started talking, immediately I noticed how the attention shifted from what they were doing to me, because what I was saying applied to what they were trying to do and how they were trying to leverage it in their industries. Because in case some of you are not aware right now, we're in a recession, and what that means is a lot of people are shopping for property, and not only that, they're looking to move capital in a way that's going to make their finances recession proof. So that's where Web3 comes in. When you talk to these people and you explain to them the mechanics of what that is and how to leverage it, you start to realize that that overlap that wasn't as obvious at first actually not only is very obvious, but is also massive in terms of your potential customer base alone. I've gotten the opportunity to essentially consult with six-figure clients that, again, on the surface we have nothing in common. I'm just someone who talks about tech a lot and discusses it and shares it as part of my writing. But it's really important to step back from that degen culture mentality for a little bit and really hone in on these high net worth individuals that stand to benefit the most from that mass adoption scenario.
Wiz, I just got to say you articulate things really well, and it's not a surprise that when you start speaking about the technology that people do listen because you articulate it well, man. Let's go to Shadow.
Yeah, I do not articulate well. I just have information. That's what my main issue is. But I agree with that. What you were saying, Compound. Like, what I've just decided to do is I just tell people, hey, if you have questions about NFTs or things of that nature, or why we might need them, or even if you got some things you hate about it, like we can definitely talk about it. But most of my family, I've gotten them in crypto now, and they're in crypto, and that's the only thing I really care about. The NFT side of things, you that's like layer three of this whole what do you want to call it, wild wild west of this side of the frontier. Thank you. Because yeah, NFTs is kind of hard because it's like so we're not paying thousands of dollars for these PFPs. We're paying for the social aspect of the, yeah, it goes over people's heads. But um, there's a lot of companies like Artifact, like Yuga Labs, like Planet X now, I guess I could say that they're trying to make it a reality and try to answer the question of why do we need this, right? Because I think once we can show the general masses the positive behind this technology, besides the obvious, like, government RD, soul bound on blockchain, yada, yada, yada. But people need to understand, like, why? Like, why would I spend this much money? Why should I care? Um, and I'm with you, Compound. I mean, we just got to wait because it's going to be like a wait and see. It's better to show you than to tell you. That's what I always say.
It's I say it all the time that a lot of the NFT projects out here, just a lot of NFTs in general, at the base level, they're like a community access token, right? It's a blockchain verifiable token that gets you access to a community, resources, the networking within that community, events, future drops, all this kind of stuff, right? The real world, like utilities that make sense to anybody outside of the space, are not there yet. They haven't caught up. But the things that I like that make makes sense to people when I'm out, if I do start it, like a conversation happens, is if I've got my artifact hoodie or if I've got something artifact that has that world merging chip in it, and I've done it multiple times. There's pictures of me in Utah. Kaz got some pictures of me in Utah, like shilling artifact to a bunch of like on the slopes. And the one thing that really clicks for them is using the blockchain to verify authenticity of an asset or of something physical. So they get that. Like, they understand that business model. Like, okay, they got physical goods. They're selling luxury items. They're selling apparel. They're selling, suitcases. And it can also be verified authentic using the blockchain, which is immutable, right? That conversation has never failed me to click with somebody. Like, the rest of it is hard to kind of explain. Uh, I'm in this because of the community networking, and you paid it's a lot of money. I know, I get it. It's expensive. It's an expensive access pass to a community. All of these things are. Every single like project, like the Yuga's $100,000 access for a Bored Ape right now, or something like that. You know what I mean? Clones are $6,000, $7,000 to access a community at the basic level. We know there's more utility there. That's a hard conversation to have, right? To anybody normal that you're talking to. Now, if you start talking to people at different levels of wealth, they start to understand, you know, access, like paying for access, which would be like country clubs and that kind of stuff. They understand that kind of stuff. But one thing that's never failed me when talking in these conversations was using the physicals to connect the blockchain to it, and why it makes sense. So why do you need the blockchain? Why do you need the NFTs? Because of the authenticity part and the immutable nature of the blockchain.
And
I've yet to have like those conversations regarding other things that made sense to normal people. And I have these conversations a lot, bro. I go to these events with Dre, and other my family and friends, my roommate even, like, I have these conversations. That makes sense for them, no?
yeah, I just want to say, man, and that's one of the main things about Artifact. The Nike acquisition was honestly, that's just it. Nike in itself acquiring anything blockchain related, it invites those conversations where it's like, hey, how do I get these reptile looking shoes that I've never seen before? I'm a sneakerhead connoisseur, or I just love Nike. How did this come about? It opens up those conversations, and it adds so you get access to this because you had this NFT, and it serves as an access to then get limited edition physicals, kind of like with Louis Vuitton. Yes, their NFT was $40,000. Yes, it was soul bound, but when you bought it, they sent you a physical luggage that in itself is probably worth 20K. And now they have, from the men's wear fashion show that just happened, um, there's 5 Louis Vuitton bags and only 4 are available. And the fifth one, which is the orange one, is only available to those who have the Louis Vuitton NFT pass. So now, if you're a Louis Vuitton collector and you like having exclusive stuff, it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter how famous you are, you can't get access to it. You have to have this NFT in order to even buy it, right? They're not even giving it to you for free. They're just saying people can't have this unless you have this NFT. So yeah, it definitely opens up more conversations for sure.
I'll take it a step further and actually reference something that's currently happening in real time. I don't know if some of you are on TikTok, but there's this interesting NPC trend happening over there where people are essentially pretending to be AI NPCs. And here's the kicker. No, I know like y'all are laughing your asses off, but in a bear market, they're making blockchain money, okay? They're making PFP boarded era money. One of these people actually showed the receipts of how much they've earned during one of their live streams, and they've earned $5,000. So let me really connect the dot for you for a second. TikTok is a Chinese based company, right? They're owned by ByteDance. And in case you were not aware, ByteDance not only is planning to launch their own streaming service that's pegged to TikTok, but they're also building a blockchain underneath of the infrastructure of the very app that 2 billion active users use daily. And that's not even including users that are of legal age that are able to actually spend money on whatever they want to spend money on. And the concept of a digital collectible, for at least for the TikTok people, it makes perfect sense because for these live streams where they pretend to be NPCs and shit, they'll buy them a rose, they'll buy them a banana, they'll buy them, I don't know, like whatever item du jour that they have on there. And all they really have to do effectively is to convert that into their own currency in their area by cashing that money out on the back end. So there's a once in a lifetime opportunity here to not only introduce the NFT concept hardcore to an audience that's turning into that legal age where they have that disposable income, they have that ability to engage in community building, but more importantly, they're content creators. The UGC aspect of the future of the space is really what's going to make or break it because user generated content plays such a big role in the marketing inherently because the more you have people making content about your stuff, the better. That's why AI took off so quickly. It's not just because ChatGPT was such an easy tool to use, it was because that by nature of the tool, being able to be turned into content so well. A lot of people, from tech folks to writers to even artists, started to make content about it, which in turn funneled more views towards the product itself. So I really feel that something like what Artifacts is doing, or even in some capacity what the CloneX community is doing. If they were to take that to TikTok and say, for example, run an NPC live stream where you slap on a AR filter of you having a clone, I'm telling you, not only that stuff would take off, but people would actually pay you money for you basically just putting on a filter and just hanging out. So it's down to understanding the mentality of people based on the platform that they use. And if you're curious to learn more about that concept, the one name that comes to mind that I recommend you check out is Balaji Srinivasan. They actually have been featured on the Lex Friedman podcast, and on Lex Friedman actually, as a matter of fact, has featured quite a lot of notable names in the very industry that you guys are involved in, from Charles Hoskinson to Vitalik Buterin and so many more. And all of these founders have said the same thing across the board on his podcast that the way they see things going, mass adoption is nothing but inevitable. YouTube already, as we speak, the current CEO is a former blockchain executive, and they're planning to launch blockchain backed features into the video and content making process of YouTube so that now not only you earn money from the content that you create on the platform, but you're able to show provenance of whatever piece of content you want to give to, say, a special superfan and whatnot. So these things, at least in my head, it makes perfect sense of where it's going. It's a matter of understanding this idea of how to move community in a way that digitally, anyway, it makes sense and it stays cohesive. Because everyone is doing a little bit of a thing here, something over there, and something here and there, and no one seems to really get it right. But I feel like the people that do understand how to move as a team and as a unit and that are laser focused on achieving a goal, more importantly, these are the people that will dominate not only, I'd say, the content creator space, but really the internet. And Mr. Beast is one of these people, I'd argue. He on his own, he's able to compete with an entire show on Netflix, which is Squid Game. Like, really think for a second how crazy that is. That one guy was not only able to replicate this very show on Netflix, but he actually doubled in terms of the viewership that the show had for the entire run of the entire episodes. So again, like that, what that tells me is that all the dominoes are set into place for things to happen. It's just a matter of using them creatively and entertaining people in a way where you're not beating them over the head with That's blockchain. That's an ordinal. That's an NFT. All people care about is having their problems be solved or be entertained.
I just read recently that Mr. Beast has to turn down most offers like from major brands because or some brands can't even like afford him because it would outweigh their entire like a traditional marketing budget for like how they traditionally market TV or wherever else. That's how like the level that he's at. And then um I think Twitter's most recent big user generated content type person that like has recently been pulled on by Elon is like Tucker Carlson, and I saw that his segments that he's been putting out get more views than mainstream media, like segments of mainstream media just here on Twitter. So ways you make some amazing points, dude. Like the user generated content's going to be huge, or it already is huge, and just them figuring out how to maximize it. Let me ask you a question about the TikTok. I've seen all the NPC stuff. There's hundreds, almost thousands of them doing it now. And if I'm scrolling through TikTok, it's almost like, oh my God, another one, there, another NPC. But are those gifts that are being given to them? Are they like they're like a centralized kind of gift currency thing, and then they cash it out? There's no blockchain implemented yet, but they cash that out for real money is what they do, right?
So, to my knowledge, like I said, ByteDance, the parent company behind TikTok, they're building a blockchain as we speak to enable TikTok users to access special perks. I'm not exactly sure where they're trying to go with this, but given the way currently the live on TikTok is set up, because of the fact that you can buy gifts that are essentially digital collectibles, the obvious parallel is there. And again, in case you guys have missed out on the news, they also recently launched a shopping feature where fashion brands and jewelry brands, respectively, have been selling out left and right off of one video going viral, which is crazy to think about because the accessibility is so easy on the user front end perspective that all you gotta do if you see something that you care to buy is you see the video, there's a link right there that tells you go to shop. You go to the shop and you buy whatever you want to buy internally using whatever credit card you have attached to your account. It could be the Google account or Apple Store account, but for all intents and purposes, I'll just use currency and just move on from that. But yeah, it's just you buy whatever you buy on there with real money that you have attached to a credit card that's linked to your account on your phone. And depending on where you are in the world, that money gets converted for you seamlessly in basically zero time, right? You literally buy the thing and it shows up at your door very much in the same way that you would do so on Amazon. So it's a big deal, dude.
Dude, tell me that the world doesn't go full circle, and anybody who's probably born in the 90s or even the 80s, what he's talking about on TikTok is their live stream videos, and it's somebody selling a product, and you click right on it. It's almost like QVC. It's like the next generation's version of like QVC. You call the phone number, buy the shit that is being sold on TV, except now they just click the link right there on the thing. I've seen one of those lives, and it instantly reminded me of QVC, like late night television where they're trying to sell you some kind of vacuum or something. Shadow, what's up, bro? Yeah, we're full circle,
Hey,
guys. I'm
we're
telling you that right
hammering,
now.
so let me get back to you.
Shadow's building a desk or something, man. All right, we're gonna do this. We're gonna let the panda. We're gonna talk to the panda. I don't see a profile picture. Oh, panda was good.
Yo, what's good, guys? Sorry, I was just finishing some meat. Um,
No, you're good.
I love what Wiz was saying, specifically about biology. He speaks about the pseudonymous economy, which obviously that's basically everyone in Web3. He also talks about network states, and all this stuff is basically converging, and like we're pretty early to it. Like we understand a lot of the tech, a lot of the concepts, and I was actually curious specifically on TikTok. Are you guys able to stream with like OBS, let's say? Like, are you able to like import your clones and like utilize them on the fly, or is that something that's being built out?
So technically, you can use them as is, but you have to use a different tool. I don't know if you know these VTubers. But yeah, they have a tool that they use that's called Live 2D, if I recall correctly. And what that is it's an interface that allows you to import a 3D model, a custom file, and then put it into that software, and it's linked to your Twitch deck or YouTube stream key or whatever, and then you feed that back to your Twitch stream. So you can do that.
Is that like VRMs?
Yeah, basically.
Oh, so I mean, has anyone hopped on that yet?
Yeah, no, we have a Phase Clan member named Clips. He uses his VRM, his clone. He actually uses his filter, but POV, he has a VRM that he streams with. He actually just came up. We have a few people. I have one set up, but I don't have my eye tracking and my mouth tracking set up. And I just need to redo my VRM so it tracks eyes and mouth. But I've used it on Discord streams. But yeah, you can stream through OBS onto TikTok as well. I've watched a few videos on how to do that. Um, but yeah, I was
That's
asked
fire.
POV. Yeah, you could do it when you have the 3D files. You set up the VRM. POV, what's up, man? You got your eyes and mouth tracking all figured out, don't you?
Yo, what's good, Joe? Actually, funny enough, no, I don't have my eyes and mouth tracking figured out, and it's part of why I got this clone with the mouth covered because skip that part. Anyways, I was gonna say, yeah, I'm kind of into the whole VTubing thing with the clones, and there are like a ton of different tools I've come across. A lot of teams in Web3 also have reached out to me. Maybe y'all heard of the Crypto Avatars team. They have a sister brand called Avasario, I believe, and you're able to load up a VRM, and it automatically, if you have your eyes and mouth trackings, it'll include that automatically. But off the rip, it will recognize your head movements, your arm movements, and your hand movements, and you're able to even like remove the background of the display UI, so that you can place your avatar any sizing. You can scale up to size, torso, full body, and you could place it over different web pages, different things you're doing on your desktop. And you can also include that through your OBS. OBS low key is a super helpful tool if you have all the right like add-ons, similar to how with Blender, you can pretty much use Blender more efficiently than anything if you have the correct add-ons. So I would say one, check out Crypto Avatars. That's their Twitter handle, and you'll see their sister project in their bio most likely. They tweet about it a lot. And then there's another one called V Magic Mirror. V Magic Mirror is actually super cool because it has a few different like things in it that you can do, where it has a display keyboard, it has a mouse recognizer on the side, so whenever you grab the mouse, your character will grab the mouse. Your character will type on the keyboard whenever you type on the keyboard, and similar to Adversario, you can make the background disappear, so you can just put that in the corner. If you look at any of my streams down my page, some of them include the VTubing style where I have my avatar in the corner, but I try not to overdo it because I already have my avatar in most of the games I'm playing. But yeah, if you guys ever want any information on that, you can shoot me a follow and DM me.
Also, there's another platform called Hallway. It's like Hallway Tile, and they've been building out some pretty cool stuff, all Unreal based, and same thing where they have typing and like all different emotes and different cubes or environments that you could like import your character in, just with like a GLB, and yeah, it's like I've been following some of their stuff. They have like basically text to animations now, like where it'll like speak it for you as well, with AI assisted. So, that's another thing I'm like keeping an eye on. But like POV, like I love this man right here. Like he's always grinding. He's always putting alpha out there and like utilizing his assets in the best way possible. So like shout out POV.
So a follow up comment I wanted to make about this network state concept and the best way to leverage OBS as a streamer, since all the, at least to my understanding, a large majority of you have access to those by virtue of owning a clone, right? A lot of the communities that you'll see online have an allegiance that they owe of some sort. And a lot of what Balaji talks about is this idea that we're moving away from a time where people have an allegiance to a platform to now having a figure that essentially becomes the platform. I'm sure you've seen some tweets by these writers or other influencers that talk about forget trying to have a niche, become the niche. That's exactly what Balaji is talking about, where Mr. Beast is, I would argue, one of the first case study, because this is a guy who casually was able to get people to not only download an app and get it to a million users within 12 hours of him putting out a video, but he was actually able to sustain that engagement with them long term via the app and via other communication channels. So effectively making him not only niche proof but platform proof. So these kind of things that are currently happening right now in the tech space and the entertainment space, that convergence is that what you start to see is that people are starting to leverage these tools in unusual but interesting ways. So if you are not too aware of what's been going on the live streaming side, there are people who essentially what they've done is they've built out custom model based on existing IP such as SpongeBob or Seinfeld, and they'll have AI stream that for them and actually generate content in real time. And I initially was skeptical about the value or the interest in such a concept and format, but last I checked, one of the most known SpongeBob streams on YouTube has 5,000 viewers concurrently. And what that means is they're not just watching for like a few minutes and then they're dropping out. These are people actively watching for hours on end, the same way they would watch a real person. So if you extrapolate from that and you look at it from, well, if all they're doing is importing a 3D file into a scene for them to live stream using AI, can you not do that with a clone? And the answer is obviously yeah. Like all you really have to do is come up with a backstory for each clone and have them have specific personalities, and more importantly, have something to point back towards. Because the advantage that SpongeBob has is that it has that ongoing IP to go off of, that brand recognition to get people interested to stick around. So just streaming with a 3D file of a clone alone is not gonna get you the attention. What's gonna get you the attention is the storytelling and your ability to convert that audience towards a what I like to refer to as a digital third space. And I think we saw some prototypes of that in the early phase of the bull run, where in 2020 specifically, Discord made a big resurgence for the Web3 community specifically. But the problem with that is that it was full of spam. It was very annoying to use, truth be told, at least from my vantage point. But I think there's a lot of lessons that were learned from that experience where all you have to do really is to set up a Discord server that links back to that live stream where you're telling people through calls to action that, hey, if you enjoy what you're watching, join this Discord server and suggest a plot point. Or better yet, if you can predict what character dies for the sake of, argument, you'll win a prize or whatever. There's endless way to gamify this, and content creators left and right have been doing it as a proof of concept, and now we're starting to see it actually catch on and becoming successful, which is why people are unironically throwing money at people pretending to be NPCs live on TikTok. They're not just doing it for the memes, they're doing it because it's giving them a sense of control on the narrative that's happening before their very eyes. So if you give them the control of the narrative, you're essentially giving them, or rather giving yourself, you the person behind that narrative, a platform that you can do whatever you want with, from advertisement to announcing future projects. to even doing cross promotional IPs if you feel like it. Because again, at least for me, the value of good PFP projects is that they have this ability to go cross mediums. It's not just a profile picture. You can animate them, you can put them into an AR or VR filter. You can even make a game out of it depending on what IP it's based upon. And it's basically what's currently happening with Fortnite right now. For those of you who don't really play games very much, Fortnite is, for lack of a better term, a mind fuck. You'll log on and have like your headshot by fucking Darth Vader, and you're gonna have fucking Chun Li hitting the gritty on you, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? Like, since when this has been a thing? But these are these audiences that you need to be paying attention to. These are these kids that are primed and ready to embrace something like this. But again, as I've said before, and I'll say it again, stop beating people over the head with what an NFT is. They don't need to know, they already know. All you really got to do is solve a pain point, give them something worth latching on to, which in this case, it's either entertainment or it's you providing a solution. You can't do both.
Um, no, Wiz is killing it, man. He's dropping bars, and I wanted to add uh, to the question that was asked earlier about the clones and the streaming. I put a picture at the top. This is my old clone. I don't do this anymore because I switched clones, and I haven't got my new VRM set up to stream with. But in Discord calls, I used to go in with my clone, and it has head tracking, but no mouth tracking yet. So I put it at the top, Panda. Check it out. The background was actually made by Rupsy Banks. He's usually in here, and then the VRM I believe was made by It's Wayne. Made the VRM for me, so I need to get it done with my new clone, and then I'll probably use it. I want to try it out with TikTok. I've been playing this game recently, and I kind of want to set up kind of a POV situation that he has with it in the corner, you know. But I want to have mouth and eye tracking at least set up first. Possibly. I can't think of the app I used for this. It's actually a Web3 company that created this app for NFTs to have VRMs with tracking, and it you don't even need to use OBS with it. It already works with like Google, Discord, and a bunch of other services. I'll think of the name while we go to. Oh, what's up, Panda?
Is it VC Face?
No, man. Let me go to Burning Bush. Burning Bush's profile. He actually works for the company. If anybody thinks of the name, let me know. It's a free download actually, and they support like it's a Web3 company, and their software is really good, man. It's smooth.
Also, to speak on what Wiz was saying, like, you know, you have to obviously go meet people where they are as opposed to expect them to like come into our platforms and ecosystems. And you know, another thing that like fits what he was saying is like specifically DNA block and replicant. You know, it's like a futureverse portfolio company, and basically it's like sort of like Wonder Dynamics, but it'll light the scene, it'll animate the scene, it'll do like prompt to, you know, like just full scene, you know, with your characters. And like I actually hooked Kuro up with a code because like you have to like apply and everything. And right now you can't import your specific character in there, but like they're gonna roll that out in the next build. And you know, that's probably what I'm like the most bullish on is like people like we're purchasing these assets like really to like participate in this up only content bull run. Like it's not buy it and then just sit around and wait on the founders to deliver on a roadmap. Like, you know, that's not what decentralization is about at all. You know, if you look at the origins of like crypto and Bitcoin, you know, Satoshi, he just mined a few blocks and then he dipped, right? And he's like, you guys figure it out. So I think that's, you know, like the value prop there is you want to say, okay, I'm buying this asset. I'm interested in these topics and I'm going to combine it and, you know, see what happens. Like look at like Leap, for example, or, you know, certain, Spaces hosts, they bought a PFP and they made it their brand. And, you know, they didn't have to wait on founders or floor prices or roadmaps. And like now when you get into like 3D rigged assets plus AI and, you know, possibly even putting a lot of that on chain, I think we're going to see like basically like billionaire streamers, you know, but like the next generation of streamers, because I think at this point, um, we're reaching like the death of the celebrity, you know, like especially with the recent strike and people want to like live vicariously through, whoever they're interested in, and they don't want to see Brad Pitt from 20 feet away on a red carpet one time. Like that doesn't really do anything for anybody. And, that's why you're seeing like an incredible amount of engagement with a lot of, like an Aiden Ross or like, any of like the top streamers, is because, they're very vulnerable and accessible, and they're able to like take a lot of chances in terms of content with like minimal overhead. And then once you add AI on top of that, you can take shots in the dark forever, and like whatever sticks, will stick. Even today, like, Jonah was talking about like Edward Sachi and like Fable simulation, which is like also pretty crazy. If you haven't seen it, it's basically like AI generated South Park episodes. So like that's definitely the future. And now it's a matter of like just network effects and like I think accumulating assets that tap into all different ecosystems where like people want to support each other and say, okay, I have, X amount of 3D assets, and if I put them all together, then, it'll probably yield some crazy results.
I wonder if the streamers will. I mean, streamers are already taking up the majority of attention, user generated content, like we've already talked about. But I think maybe it's because it's easier to connect with them, right? It's easier to connect with the come up of somebody who, may have come from an average lifestyle to kind of becoming famous through whatever content they were creating rather than the movie stars. They're just I can't relate, and I don't connect with them, and I'm sure that maybe a lot of other people feel that way. That's probably why the popularity, like they can get so popular so quickly. POV or Shadow, I don't know who was first, but
I'll just get to it quick so Shadow can get to his point as well. But similar to like the what is it, the Magic World of Gumball, where like all those characters are smashed together into one cartoon and they kind of all don't really look like they belong. Some 2D, some 3D. I think like that's exactly the type of content people are into, and like y'all are saying, like people don't want to idle. Like it's the death of the celebrities. Like people don't want to idle that anymore. People want to idle things that like feed into things that make them happier, make them comfortable. And like the start of that was definitely like the local icons, things like Aiden, all those different streamers that do like wacky skits, random little things to catch your attention. But it gets even deeper when people start spending time doing that, and they started seeing a few different like things like VTubers popping out. I noticed a lot of the response I get to even like my streams is a lot different than if I was to like use my real face. And like I have no problem with using my real face, but the interaction I think that people have with using like this animated character is heightened. It's heightened. So that's my first point. My second point was that using our clones, um, and this goes mainly for the creators that know how to use like Blender and model and stuff like that. But like using our clones and using other NFT projects as like props and like integrated aspects. Like I tend to use my beast a lot as a figure when interacting with my clone. But there are a lot of other collections that we all are into, like Metashima, and even with the remote worker bots, like we can bring awareness to a lot of different projects that we might want to uplift or that we might want to introduce to the clone culture by kind of putting them all into different composures. It kind of shines light on these different projects, and at the very least, it gets a retweet with the clone. So it's just to push the movement forward. You got
how
a Shadow.
hold on. So you guys have seen Vega? Vega has been doing like he did I think it was Omegle, and he was going as his clone, and it was interesting to see the reactions. People are like, what the fuck is that? How have your reactions been with you, like POV? How you said that you've been using your clone or your a kid called Beast, because people may connect with it more. Have you seen similar reactions or?
Yeah, bro, it's actually interesting. Like, because this was one thing I was considering when it came to like these avatars and what people want as their digital identity. And like I love my beast for sure, but I realize it's definitely more like a companion in my eyes because whenever I used it as a main frontline character, it normally did get some like super outrageous reactions, right? And that's not an issue because when I put it into the like I did a render recently where I did a comparison of like the Andy and the Woody toy, and I did like my clone holding my kid called Beast, and I kind of matched up a few different poses just to play on that, and I noticed that hit a lot of people differently because it kind of put the Beast in a reality that made more sense for it, and it also kept the clone in a space that was able to be relatable, and it highlighted both of those collections in a way that I think worked best.
That's dope, bro. I actually love that concept. The clone holding the Ikiko beast. Like they go perfect together, bro. It is like a little companion. Shadow, what's up, bro? I already cut you off twice. No, I'm playing.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I kind of forgot what I was originally. I think it was something with the beast thing way a while back. I think it was just pointing out that the Mr. Beast guy that does his merchandise is also doing artifacts merchandise. And I was going to talk about something else, but I'll wait till the reset because I have a question about the current market of NFTs and stuff like that.
So I'm supposed to reset the space now? No, I mean I like the concept. Shadow, here's a question. Why don't you or anybody has anybody attempted to use their clone? Like Shadow, you work from home on your computer for Google Meets or anything. Have you attempted to use your clone for any corporate meetings? I remember being in here with a mutant ape. His name was, man, I can't remember, but I'll think of it. He had his whole mutant rigged up 3D, ready to rock. Google Meets, and he's a manager. He leads a team, and he's a production manager or something. And he pulled up to Google Meets as his mutant ape, and his whole team got so fucking mad at him. Said, "Don't you ever come on Google Meets again with whatever that was." I need somebody out there to try a corporate meeting with a clone. Let's see what the reaction is. I'll do it.
It's not bad like that. I've taken plenty of meetings with the clone filter. Yeah, the mutants are ugly. I don't give a shit what anyone says. They're the ugliest art in the space. And you know what? People like ugly. That's why people buy Shih Tzus and other ugly dogs.
They're like hard looking. They're mean looking, dude. Like, I mean, I got a mutant. They're just like that kind of art that's mean looking. That's why I like it. I don't rock it,
I got a question. Who here works like you would need to do that concept with somebody that works a serious job and who has, I guess, the gonads.
Bro, are you kidding me right now?
What?
Are you dog? Are you saying I don't work a serious job, bro? You guys don't even know me. I come on here to make jokes and shit. My fucking page is a joke page. But I'm a fucking scientist, my guy. Put some fucking respect on my name. Holy shit, bro. I'm a botanist. I'm literally do serious work every single day.
Kira, I didn't even hear what you said, bro. What the heck?
Bro, I take offense to that because I take my work seriously. Like very seriously.
What?
I literally I don't even want to sorry.
What did you
Maybe you know
say
what?
Before?
I freaked out because that's what my mom says to me. She's like, "Oh, you could have been a lawyer. You could have been a doctor. You could have been anything you wanted. But you decided to become a gardener." I hate that shit. I have a very serious job. I'm a botanist, okay? I deal with plants on the fucking atomic level almost now because people don't know how to keep their plants clean in production facilities. And I don't only just work in cannabis, by the way.
Bro, if there's anybody that I want around my plants, it's a reptile. You know what I mean? Reptile the bugs away from my plants, and the plants stay safe, dude. I don't see why the VRM didn't work better. I think that should work great. Oh fuck, I got a reptile watching my plants. I'm set, baby. Let's rock.
Okay, let's try this again.
I'm not actually upset. That was the room reset, but so so I deal with Health Canada, which is like a government agency, and sometimes I'll put on the clone filter and my eyes don't move, and I have them set looking to the right and to the left, and yeah, they never say anything to me. They actually they think it's cute and stuff. So
Kiro, Shadow hasn't figured out you and subscribe yet. You can't do him like that, bro.
No, I
He's still trying.
honestly, I like all I heard was the question. I handed my wife a piece of this drawer, and then I put the headphone back in, and it was a pause. So I jumped in and said, and then Kira was like, "What?" And I was like, "What the fuck?" So let me try this again. With a company that takes themselves too seriously, that's what I'm trying. I want the people who work those boring jobs where people are not interesting and they're just like a white collar job where it's just so boring, it like bores you to death. We need to see a
My
reaction
job is that job, bro.
from those people, because my job, they would probably laugh, and it wouldn't be like a it depends on what kind of reaction you're trying to get. Like my job would be like, "Oh, that's so funny, give me one," da, da, da. And I'd be like, "Yeah, you got 4K, I can get you one." But if I did this at my other job, like when I was at AT&T, they would be like, they would say my name and be like, "Hey, we need to just talk afterwards." Like they have no life in them. They're just like corporate zombies. Those are the people that I want to see get surprised with a Clone X. But that's all I was trying to say.
I mean, forget trying to introduce that stuff to a job. I have a lot of friends who are based out of Thailand, Tokyo, Paris, and Brazil, and they talk about hijacking billboards a ton. And as a matter of fact, in New York, that's what I used to do. There was a time where I'd casually insert QR codes and a wide variety of flyers and what have you into the 42nd Street billboard central where everyone just stares at everything. I'm not exactly sure how much that converts in terms of audience following and funneling, but at the end of the day, it is an option that you can use from a viral slash guerrilla marketing standpoint. Sort of like what the folks behind Cicada 3301 did back in, I forgot what year they came out for the first time, but at this point, it's been a minute. But yeah, like if you're not familiar and caught up with the whole Cicada situation, these guys are essentially a bunch of self-proclaimed hackers and what have you, and crypto enthusiasts, and not actual cryptocurrency. Just so we're clear, as in cryptography, the discipline where you learn to secure your stuff. That's what these guys were going ham about, and they recruited a fuck ton of people, and they've done it through 4chan of all places. They just posted a screenshot saying, "Hey, we're looking for highly talented individuals who are looking to solve puzzles, and if that sounds like you, congratulations. Solve this riddle, and we'll reach out to you once you do solve it." And it launched a fucking internet frenzy, literally at the peak of it. Even people that were corporate people that typically don't really give a shit about internet matters, they talked about this. It's to the point where even Rolling Stone did an article on this whole affair and spoke to an alleged, winner of that contest and what they found on the other side of this whole thing. But the principle still applies, though, in terms of what's currently at place here, where we have a bunch of, for lack of a better term, PFP islands, right? You have the Bored Ape over here, you have the clones over there, you have the Dead Fellas over here, and you have whatever bumfuck other PFP projects over there, and they're trying to figure their own shit out. So if you're really trying to make the most out of that investment, because that's how I see it, right? Anything that your attention goes on, inherently, that's an investment because you're exchanging your attention for your time. Instead of what could have gone to your own things or your own project, you're giving that to someone else or something else. So you could either decide to run solo and build a brand out of whatever you did buy, or you could, if you wanted to, effectively leverage the mechanism of the internet as they are today and build essentially a media company that's fully ran online. And during the whole 2020 uprising, a lot of people accidentally sort of did that because they were essentially trying to fundraise money quickly to bail people out of prison, and the best way they found to do that was to leverage YouTube. they had a bunch of people on TikTok go over there and say, hey, we're running a 24-hour live stream on this specific video. You go watch it, just leave it on the background, don't do nothing else, and keep racking in the bucks so we can use the funds from that and disseminate it to people. And if I recall correctly, at its peak, they've raised no less than $100,000 in a few days, mind you, not even like weeks. So if you have a few dedicated people of say 100 folks that are trying to effectively leverage a brand identity, all you really have to do to make a dent and really get noticed, especially in this hyper concentrated, hyper competitive media landscape, you really just have to get people on the same page in terms of, hey, like, when do we move and what do we move towards? And YouTube, I feel like, is prime time to really get that out there in terms of establishing that dominance early on, because animators specifically have been able to really leverage that in a very effective way. As a matter of fact, there's a kid who's only 15, if I recall correctly. He got featured on the Spider-Verse movie that just came out. And you might be wondering why that's relevant. Well, it's relevant because he got discovered on YouTube. The studio execs at Sony, when they dropped the trailer for the Spider Verse movie that was about to come out, he saw it and he did the rendition of that movie, but in Legos on Blender. And he put it up on YouTube, and within the next 48 hours, he's racked up 3 million plus views. So the Sony people hunted him down and reached out to him saying, hey, how about you actually animate an entire section of our movie for whatever is going to come out? And they had him on board for the project, and he got paid handsomely on top of that. So good for him, especially at 15. That's unheard of, at least to my knowledge. So you can leverage all these crazy tools where the access, both from the creator and the consumer, are literally so low that all you got to do is just execute and be consistent. As soon as you get that brand attention or brand awareness, double down and get people interested and manufacture controversy when necessary. And I don't mean in the sense of, doing something tacky to get people to turn on you. I just mean that the nature of the internet goes off of conversations, right? That's why people talk about Andrew Tate all the time, even though he's technically not a content creator in the traditional sense. And to my knowledge, the dude doesn't even have his own platform where he shows his stuff. I'm not sure if he's a podcaster or not, but he's shown up on people's podcasts though. And what happens every time? Whenever he shows up there, these people rack up millions, if not tens of millions of views, and that's because he's manufactured that guerrilla digital marketing for himself so well that at one point in time he became the most Googled name on the planet. And that's a record that hasn't been broken since. So, all of that to say that the blueprint is there, and if communities choose to leverage it, and when they choose to leverage it and they do so well, what you're going to effectively see is a bunch of companies that are exclusively digital scale there first, and then if they do feel like it, they'll cross over to the physical by, say, buying studio lots and stuff like that, kind of like what Mr. Beast is currently doing. The dude recently just purchased a property in North Carolina for like 10 mil, and all it is a studio lot. And for me, the connection is pretty obvious. It's only a matter of time before he pivots from doing the traditional YouTube videos that he's known for, from essentially leasing those studio spaces to up and coming indie industries, whether it's film or whatever else. Even video games could benefit hugely from this because you have a content creator that not only already has an established audience on YouTube, but he could make a deal with them saying, hey, if you do make a game using our studio space, we'll give you a deal on the back channel where we'll market it for you. and in exchange, we'll get a portion of the profits. So all of that, I would argue, has been leveraged with nothing but content by Mr. Beast the entire time, and all he's done really to scale that content quickly is manufacture controversy each and every time, whether it's by casually donating $5,000 to a Twitch streamer or by casually giving a car to a random person to even buying an entire house for someone unannounced and crazy stuff like that, like that's a big deal.
He's figured out the formula, man. And I did see his new property out in North Carolina on one of his videos. Now he filmed everything completely. Like he controls the cost of everything that he does because he does it all on his own place in his own warehouse. Um, he's got the attention market figured out, and he does. You're right. He does do it through controversy. And I was over here trying to think like how is giving money to a streamer controversial, but you always have half of the people who just hate to see other people win something. Then you have half of the people who like to see, like just recently, Thread Guy having a W with making some money finally after all this shit. There's half of NFT Twitter's pissed off that he got some money, and the rest is like fucking stoked for him. People just hate to see others win.
That's exactly why the strike situation I find so hilarious to me, because a bunch of these actors and writers are saying that we're striking to get attention on something important, which they are, but what they're not realizing is that effectively that attention that they're manufacturing could go on them, and instead what they're choosing to do is refocus basically all of it onto Disney or Warner Brothers or whatever shit company that has been doing a terrible job at understanding the current landscape of the digital space. Because these guys are legacy media, right? Like these guys, it's old school TV, old school music that have zero clue about the implications of whatever that means for the future of entertainment. And all they're really doing is coasting off of the cloud that we're building here at the ground level, and they come in and buy stuff out. Kind of like the same way we've seen in Artifact, where Nike sort of came in and just gave a deal to the kid behind it, and now he's doing well for himself. And I'm not saying don't sell out, but I am saying though that if you're someone who's a creator in this day and age, and you're not thinking a platform first mentality, you're really missing out on the entire point of what Web3, of what AI, and really what content has been building up to that point. These are I really don't use that word lightly when I say that the decisions that you make today in terms of compounding interest will literally impact your net worth at whatever point you end up becoming an established, I don't know, YouTuber or Twitch streamer or what have you and stuff like that. Because that's exactly how people like Mr. Beast started out. He had a very clear direction in terms of the logical conclusions of what this was going to be for him. He wasn't just doing content for the sake of doing content. What he's done effectively is built up a brand around himself, and then he's followed that up with scale by slowly hiring more people, by eventually taking on more challenges that are I'd say more mainstream, if you will. And I think the Squid Game video that he did was only to start with that, like for him, like this is basically light work. Like really serious stuff that Mr. Beast can do, you have really yet to see. And it's only a matter of time before this guy makes a casual billion views off of a video of his. And for context, typically the revenue that you earn from your videos on YouTube, it could get you anywhere between $100,000 to $1 million, depending on the RPM, which is revenue per mile, and that's a metric that YouTube uses as a way to measure how much your video can earn based on the location of your viewers and based on the topic of discussion that your video contains. So that say if you're someone who's predominantly a finance based channel, you actually will end up earning more by sole virtue of the fact that you discuss finance, and that the advertisers that are looking to target these people who watch that content will shell out more money to reach more people that way. That's why finance influencers that are on YouTube right now, even though they don't make as much views as say Mr. Beast does, they're actually able to compete and keep up in that landscape. One of them actually, in the open, said that a video of his that had 100 something thousand views, which is not really a lot in the grand scheme of things, that video alone has gotten them almost to the dollar, $90,000, which is crazy. That's essentially having $1 for each views that is gotten. So again, the information is there. Make of that what you will, and just find your people and build teams and scale up.
I need to figure. I'd like to figure out, or we need to figure out as a community, and that's just speak. I'm speaking to the artifact community right now. I see a lot of things. I just saw a post today, and there was a whole conversation thread about content creation. And artifact content creators or creators weren't even mentioned in the conversation because I guess traditionally people see content creation as your videos and your threads and all these different things. And I tended to disagree with the thread. I didn't comment on it, but I think that as a community, we make such dope shit. There's so much good content made, but not enough, and a lot of people that are actively like pushing it out there, right? We're making dope shit. Oh, sorry, I might have cut off. We're making dope shit, but it's not being pushed out to where it could be, like on the level that it could be. You know you guys get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a marketing problem, and I feel like a lot of people, unfortunately, they overcomplicate this term marketing. Marketing is literally who you are and what you do. It's really as simple as that. There's no gimmicks, there's no need for you to try and growth hack. All you gotta do is tell people, hey, I'm so and so, and I create this thing, and this is how I made it. And you just put that out there, and you keep doing so, more importantly, more consistently, which is kind of weird for me to say because I'm, on this account at least, I'm predominantly a writer. And I feel like some of you, as we speak, might be pointing fingers and saying, well, if you're a writer, how the fuck comes I don't see any of it on your Twitter? Well, that's the thing. I don't do that because I understood that at least the value of Twitter for me, it was more of a funneling tool and nothing more beyond that. And the platform I use actually, I'd argue, is essentially the YouTube, but for writers. That's exactly what I use it for. This platform is known as Substack, and what I realized within, I'd say, the first 2 weeks of me posting my writing on there, where I discuss basically everything we've spoken about and more at length, it's a bunch of people reaching out after the fact of what I've posted, saying, "Hey, this was really insightful. Can I follow up for some more questions?" And I started to take on people on a consultant basis by asking them, what do you need me to educate you on? And it kind of went from there. It actually went to a point where, for whatever reason, people actually started to pay me for a year, which, in case you were not aware, that's how Substack works. You can pay people from a month to month basis, or you can become a year to year patron, or you can become what's called a founder patron, where you actually give a flat fee for, say, $500, and you pay people that amount upfront, and you get access to everything, their audio content, their video content, and obviously their written content. So that's what I've done personally in terms of making the most out of content that not only I get to research about on a day-to-day basis, but I also get to share around with people. I understood that Twitter is not really the kind of place, at least for now, where the kind of stuff I talk about or research about, it's not really meant for that. So, if you're trying to leverage, how to create content that attracts people, the best way to understand that is to consume that very content that you aim to attract. That's like a very one-on-one approach, but it still holds true. I went to a community and a platform that's full of writers, and I got to know them, and I got to know their habits, and I got to know how they post, and I kind of followed up in their footsteps.
Gotcha.
So, follow in the same way.
So I'm just of the opinion, and we're gonna say what's up to Baron and Bombay here in a sec. I'm just of the opinion that clone artifact creators make some of the best content there is. There is just a marketing problem because there's no way that the type of shit that artifact creators are putting out should, that things like who's active right now should be outdoing some of the shit that like artifact creators put out. And you're right that it is a marketing issue. We're making dope shit here, but it's not even being put into the same conversations as some of the other traditional content that I've seen on the timeline, at the least. And that is one thing that, like, I originally wanted to start. Everybody, there's a few people in here who were in the original kind of before Bad Take was a thing. Bombay is one of them. Baron. There's a few people in here. It was a group. It was like an engagement group chat, and we were just basically trying to help each other retweet our content and retweet things to get clones seen on the timeline, just to get some vision on the shit that's going on here. Because I think that it's always been kind of an issue when we make dope shit, but we're not the loudest. We're not out there just being obnoxiously loud on the timeline. I think that's all right, but I think that I really want to get our shit seen out there, guys. Like, our creators are so fucking dope. Bombay, my man, what's up? Look at that new clone, bro.
Yeah.
Gang.
First of all, it's great to be back. It is a monumental occasion. I decided to come and engage with my family. But no, what's good, brother? What's good, fam? We chilling. You know what it is. It's a fine Wednesday afternoon here. I'm on my lunch break. I had some free time to pop in and say what's good. You know, I'm always listening though, so you already know what it is. But honestly, bro, like, this is what I hate about NFTs, bro. Is I literally only like a handful of pieces in every collection, and like I just have to I had like my eye like basically on 4 clones that, like, if I wasn't gonna get these clones, I wasn't gonna get a clone, and it took me like months to finally get this clone, and I paid what I had to pay. I paid the premium, but I just had to be done, and literally across every collection, bro, I only like maybe 10 total pieces in like literally every collection. I think it's because if I'm gonna collect and hold, I'm just way too picky, and it's honestly terrible, bro. Like, I shouldn't be like that, but it is what it is, bro. I got my baby now, so we chilling. Yeah, brother, you already know.
Bro, you sound alive. Like you finally got that thing you connect with, and it brought like a whole life into you. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I thought the pirate was dope, but I was like, honestly, like, it just like didn't connect with me on it. But if I could get a second one, it would be that pirate, like, as like an alter ego, and it was close, bro. Like, that pirate was so sick, dude. Like, I was like, you know what, bro? Like, let me let this go. Like, let me sit on it. Let me see how I feel, and then bam, because you know what it was, like, I'm aging, right? So I need to get a goatee. So I got my goatee clone. Shout out to Sensei, right? Got my lime green. So it's hopefully it's the evolution of Bombay. And yeah, you know what's funny is I knew Wiz sounded familiar. well, I don't know if this is a different account or what, but we used to kick it way back in the day. I don't know if you remember, bro. But that's funny. That is funny. So okay, real quick about marketing, bro. Like, so you see these people like Aiden Ross, Kai, like, getting paid massive money to get on their platforms. Like that's just marketing. Like, that's just out of the marketing budget for these platforms, bro. And it's just like, okay, let's throw it 100 mil at these guys, and it's not like they are like, and it's not like it's like we're paying 100 mil to get him on. We're paying 100 mil to get marketing, to get people listening, and get other creators going on their streams. And like, to Wiz's point about ownership and like about Web3 ethos, like that, I don't know if like that's not necessarily good for creators, because like you're seeing it with like the writer's strike. Like, you cut the check, and then you're good, and it's just a marketing item from their end. But like ownership is what's key, bro. And like, these guys aren't getting ownership. Like, very few are, and like everyone's not going to get paid this type of big bucks, right? So like I think that's why like banding together, like creators banding together and like being able to like actually get percentage ownership of the deal, like just like taking the check, selling out, and you're good. But then that money's gone, and then you don't got any ownership, and you built that platform. Like these kids are building these platforms up, but they're just a marketing line item. Um, and I have a hot take. Is like we have like the artifact creators web page. I think, bro, I just don't think people follow that. Besides, like outside of clones, like I kind of wish it was just artifact homepage doing all that. Because like we're getting like so dope like website updates and stuff, but like I just don't see the artifact like page pushing it. When I think it should be, we should just merge it, bro. It's just like hard to keep track of everything going on. Or like maybe ping
They
it or
retweeted it
something.
today. They retweeted it
Yeah,
today.
I
I
know.
know what you're saying.
It's just
I've
it's
heard that.
just different, right? And like that representation too, like what like okay, Kick is paying Aiden Ross to get on their platform as marketing, right? Just so people can listen. Like we may that's like what like we like these big spaces and stuff like is like we it's just more people telling the story um and showing it to other people because like a lot of clone creators like they create and they're out here like IRL too. There's a lot of these people in Web3 like this is what they do, bro. Like they out here in every space, bro. Like writing threads, commenting, replying. Like they make it a mission, bro. You know what I mean? So like if maybe like maybe Artifact needs to create a marketing budget to push this on in Twitter, and pay people to get out here, and push it. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
Well, maybe, and this might be a little crazy. Maybe our little microcosm, our little Benito calls it our little NFT village. Like it is really just its own little like NFT village, our little microcosm, and it's a big thing to us. Like this is our like Twitter and Discord. Like that's a big thing to us, but the world's massively bigger than that. And maybe there's a plan with like they just signed with CAA, and maybe there is a plan to start getting our creators content into bigger deals out like that aren't even on here on Twitter, just like on a different level. You know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah, and that's okay, but like we can't ignore the fact that Web3 is so small, and like you have to cater to this right now. Like it is what it is. You got to play. You got to play that game. You know what I mean? You know, and I swear I don't get upset like oh like why aren't artifact creators getting acknowledged from like other people's like that's just not like that's not their fault. Like they're just reporting on what they see. You know, it's artifact's job to like let them know that like there are people here, um, and because like the founders are getting paid the most are getting have the highest following, right? So like and you see with with Utes and D gods like Frank is out here like so like he's like the face of the brand, and then it trickles down to the holders, right? And as whack as it is, bro. Like it's just the way we're in. We're in a super bear market. There's maybe 100 of us on Twitter chatting, and it's just like the most active people are getting that recognition. And so you can either just choose to ignore it and build and kind of just wait it out, or do both, right? Um, and that's why like you can hire people too, community managers to like get out and do that type of stuff and speak like the projects are paying people to speak on spaces, like it's just what's happening right now, and so that may need to happen eventually.
so
So
Frank, I think is the exception, right? Like the other, and this is I don't want to take away from what a lot of these big name like influencers and big name content creators on Twitter have done. They rock a certain PFP, but all that work has been on their own back. Like these people are hustling out here. They're making a name for themselves. They just so happen to be rocking a Mutant Ape, or they just so happen to be rocking a Azuki, right? Like they just so happen to be rocking whatever they're rocking. Frank is the exception. Like he's just an active member of the community, like just in general by himself, and it benefits his project very, very much so, in my opinion. But I don't want to take away from the fact that, like, yeah, those content creators that are just happening to rock different profile pictures, they're grinding themselves.
No, it's true. It's true, right? And so, it's interesting, like, why? So, like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, you see Luca out here, right? Like, you see a lot of penguins and Utes, and it's not that many. There's like 4 or 5 projects, bro. It's like it's just what's popular. So maybe just if that additional support, or you just gotta get a kickstart, right? Once you see someone do it, then you'd be like, okay, like I can do it too, right? Um, but maybe it is what it is. Like you kind of just kind of just do what you got to do, and yeah, I don't know, to be honest with you.
No, bro, you had some good takes, dude. And I'm glad to talk to you. I love the new clone. I don't know if I can yet. I've not passed your old clone yet, the original Bombay. Like in my mind, that is Bombay, right? Like all the renders, the Grand Rising. So I'm gonna get
I'm
used.
working on some shit. Don't worry, we got content coming.
I know I'm gonna get used to the new Bombay, but we both had different clones at that time, so it takes some time, bro. Like, give me some time. I'm still attached to the old Bombay clone, the OG Bombay clone, but I'm getting there, bro. Well, I want to say what's up to Bay Ron. What's up, bro? What are you saying?
I think Homeboys goes by Baron, but I could be wrong. Oh, never mind, never mind.
Bay-
I think I caught the reference you just did just there. Was that the Aaron reference from the fucking skit by Jordan Peele and
I
whatnot?
love Wiz, dude. Once
I'm just a I'm just a baby.
Bay Ron.
Hey, Bayron. Dude, this is I feel good tonight. We got Bombay in the house. My
It's
guy,
Bombay-ron. It's a Bombay-ron connection.
Bombay Ron, dude.
Listen, baby.
That's what wasn't that going to be the name of our store?
It is, bro.
Bombaron. No,
It's still the
Bombaron.
name. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Bombay-ron, Beyond Blessed.
Yeah. Beyond blessed. Great. Rise up. Um.
No, it's happening,
Yeah,
bro.
man.
Just
It's
wait, bro.
dude.
Once we get
It
all this
is.
shit going, it's gonna
Look,
be Beyond Blessed online
I
digital
got a
store.
goatee. Okay, on my rep. Okay, I don't know if you know this. I was also thinking about this other thing. I got the same earrings on an angel. Okay, I don't have the tri tat, but I'm. I've always loved the tattoos, and I think they're going to play into the lore. Because if you look into a lot of the tattoo traits, there's meaning behind them. Um, so that's dope as hell. You said some cool shit. I'd love to hear more about the people that are getting paid 5Gs to pump and talk on the stages. I've brought it up to people before. I think it's at some point it just makes sense. It's like they're working for the project anyways. I think you get more consistency. Um, yeah, man, I'm just enjoying listening. Wiz was Wiz, welcome, man. You're going to introduce me to things I don't know about, and I appreciate that about you. Uh, and I hope to teach you some things too. So welcome home to Bad Take, man.
Well, by
But
virtue of me being here, and thanks for the welcoming, by the way. I mean, but like by virtue of me being here, I'm absorbing stuff, right? I feel that the way, at least for me, I've been able to capture that value and repurpose it was that I stopped thinking of Twitter as its only place, and I stopped trying to think of the stuff I put out as its own separate entity. The way I look at it, I'm running an entire media company on my own, and lucky for me, there are tons of AI tools to help me do that. And I really do feel that at least from the perspective of making the most of what the space represents, and I really mean the artifact and by extension the CloneX community space, right? If people are effectively trying to build the brand awareness and they're also trying to introduce the community of Web3 in one fell swoop, the one thing that will need to be prioritized, at least right now until the end of the year, it's going to be content. And I know I've said that before, but to put it in actionable steps and really make it practical, a lot of changes is happening right now in the content space because currently if you look at say TikTok for example, TikTok is not just a place that people watch content on. Effectively, what TikTok has become is a search engine for whatever kind of content you want to see. Because on Instagram, say for example, you can't do that. You know, if I want to look at a reel specifically of someone skateboarding, I'm probably not gonna be able to find it. Or if I do find it, it's going to be something completely different or unrelated. So what's going on TikTok right now, from the user standpoint, they've solved a major hurdle where they're allowing the users to organically tell the app, hey, this is what we give a shit about. Show us more of it. So if you wanted to, you could organize a coup, if you will, a takeover, where you send 1,000 people to TikTok and you instruct them to not only make content but to use specific keywords, and that keyword has to be in common with all of that stuff across the board, and you just spam that repeatedly for days, if not weeks. I promise you, it's only a matter of time before whatever it is you're spamming catches on, because that's exactly what Andrew Tate did. There's a YouTube video that actually broke down the business side of why he became famous. And the dude, again, like to my knowledge, doesn't have a platform to speak of. He's not a Joe Rogan. He's not a Mr. Beast. He's just some boxer guy who seemingly blew up overnight. Or is it? No, what happened was he hired a bunch of people and he enticed them via affiliate marketing. And all he said to them to do was, "Hey, whenever I appear on a podcast somewhere, whenever I say something publicly, clip that, repost that, make content out of it, and have a link in your bio that's going to serve as an affiliate link towards my website. And when people click on that link, you earn money. So it's a win-win for both parties, right?" And these people have gone on to not only create content on his behalf, but they've effectively leveraged that association to the brand that Andrew Tate has built into a platform for themselves in their own right, where they've been able to branch out not only from just reposting clips of his podcast appearances, but they've been able to showcase their own stuff or whatever other things they have an interest in. So if the CloneX community actually cares to do that, that's really the way to go, to be honest. That's really how you introduce things onto the what I like to call the public consciousness of the internet. You know, TikTok in a lot of ways is the front page of the internet, and that's for good reasons. There's 2 billion people actively using the platform every single day. And what that means is even if it's a few hundred people that try to do this, the chances of you being able to be seen with a orchestrated coup like this, by nature of the TikTok algorithm and the way the views work there and the way the content works there, your chances to being seen is going to skyrocket. That's like obvious math in my mind. And I know this because I've done that before on the behalf of fashion brand. I've done this on the behalf of filmmakers. I've done this even on the behalf of musicians, where I would tell them, hey, instead of trying to repost that same piece of stale content every day, how about you encourage the people who follow you to repost some stuff that is a offshoot or a remix of whatever you did before? And that's where the duetting feature of TikTok comes in handy, because TikTok by default, it allows you to take the content structure of whatever you've been fed and you can repurpose it right there into the app as a reaction or as a response or even as a shout out if you feel like it. And if you gain enough traction, you can very easily go from being an unknown nobody to having a fuck ton of people talking about you. And that's, by the way, that's exactly the guy that did the fake Drake AI song. That's exactly what he did. And I know this because I spoke to him directly about how to orchestrate this whole thing. All I really told him is, hey, AI is hot right now. We all know this, but that alone is not gonna make you trend. What's gonna make you trend is for you to make a statement that's so outrageous that people have no choice but to respond. And that's what people did. When the song came out, the stuff was so massive that even UMG came out and said, hey, this AI shit is getting a little out of hand, so we're going to have to shut that down. And they banned the song from Spotify, from TikTok, from YouTube, but it didn't matter. The effect already took place to such a degree that all the people reposting the song, they could not realistically keep up. So as a result of that, they just kind of left it alone, I guess.
I'm gonna be honest. I've learned a ton from Wiz tonight. I didn't know. I remember Andrew Tate just kind of popping up out of nowhere, but I did not know the actual method that was used behind it. But it makes sense. It's exactly how I found him, and I like how we can speak on all this like objectively. Like it's exactly how I saw his videos. Was just random people like reposting podcasts things. And who's to say that those podcasts weren't just filmed in his living room with a camera at a specific angle, making it look like he's talking to someone important. Like I've seen people do that too. They started to either they took his method. They basically hold their own little podcast in like a little studio, and it looks like they're talking to somebody, but they may not even have someone on the other side, and they're saying something. But a lot of people started to use that tactic. I don't know if it came from him or what, but dude, I've learned a ton from you, and I appreciate you, Wiz.
Yeah, and I learned for talk from you guys as well. Because again, like the culture here at the end of the day is what I care about, right? It's this idea that for the first time and probably ever, the one and only shot that you guys have to take that power imbalance and make it tilt into your favor, that's literally now. I really don't see any other way to go about this. And content creators, I think for the longest of time, it's been a term that can be in certain contexts be viewed as an insult is like kind of the SoundCloud rapper term where it's like, yeah, you just a SoundCloud rapper, like why should we take you seriously? Well, I'll tell you right now, XXXTentacion was a SoundCloud rapper, and I met the guy in Florida in 2016. And that was during, I'd argue, the peak time where it was coming to prominence. And again, the same thing applies here. What he basically did that he didn't talk about much in the public eye, because as far as he was concerned, he was a villain, right? Like he was that Florida kid, that wild kid that was doing crazy shit. But the dude had a strategy behind all this. The reason why his SoundCloud blew up so much is because he went out of his way to beat people up and post these videos on Twitter, and these videos would gain traction. And a clever thing that he did along the way too was that he was using actual screen caps from these fights that he got involved in as cover arts for the songs that he was putting out on SoundCloud, so that whoever was looking for it, all they had to do was do that brand association, if you want to call it that. It's morbid when you put it like that, but again, the same principle that I discussed with you so far is the same one at play here. It's just manufacturing controversy, enticing people and catch their attention, and from there funnel that attention wherever you see fit. And that has led him to securing a major $100,000 record deal off of his SoundCloud following alone. He had no fucking Spotify presence, YouTube presence, none of that.
Yeah, it's another avenue that I didn't know. I do remember that actually, the SoundCloud era. SoundCloud could blow you up. Now it's TikTok. SoundCloud used to be that for music. TikTok is now it for like everybody was creating songs for SoundCloud, but now people are using TikTok trying to create viral sounds and viral songs for TikTok, and it doesn't happen on SoundCloud as much anymore. Is what I've noticed. Let's go to Shadow. You got your hand up. We'll go to Baron next. What's up, Shadow?
Go to Baron first. Sorry, I gotta finish this last thing.
He's he's still fixing the drawer.
Bro,
Dude,
this
Kuro
shit is
jumped him.
taking forever, bro. It's been like 2 hours, man, and we
If
ain't done yet.
Listen, if Kuro talked to me like that, like jumped me like that, when I was trying to put a drawer together, I'd have to talk back to him. So you were a true gentleman, a true Texans gentleman.
Yeah,
I know that only lasts for so long with you guys, though.
Yeah,
Like I'm not gonna bark up your tree, you know what I mean? But that's just
I was genuinely confused.
it's all
Though.
love.
I was like, I literally put the headphones back
I
in,
think he was.
and he was like, "I got a serious job." I was like, "Yo, what the fuck happened?"
Yeah, no, he told you what happened. He said his mom says that to him, and I'm like, I know, I can feel that
Oh,
pain.
I didn't hear that part.
Yeah. He goes, that's what my mom says to me.
Wait, I thought him and his mom were. Oh, and no, okay, no, I
They are.
understand now. I
They're
got you.
close. They're close, dude. It's part of his humor, man.
Got you.
So, anyways, you're a good man, Shadow. Um, I do like that. What Bombay was saying, or there's some sense to it that like the artifact creators doesn't like always come across as like being artifact. You know what I mean? Like that he was saying like or just to put it right on the main page, like the artifact website. I like that resonated with me. Um, Certainly like you could have more links. I guess you could have like there's probably a link on the main page to the creators page, but even if it's just their work goes on the banners on the main page and people can click on that and it takes you to the artifact creators page. But it took me a long time to realize that artifact creators was basically all the creators that were all verified by artifact. So I'm sure that's happening to other people. Um, but yeah, anyways, just good to be here with all the peeps. Dude, what do you got for me tonight?
I got none. I'm here for
What?
Bombay. I saw Bombay up here. I'm like I'm ready to hear some positive stuff because we need some of that. I can be my negative self
Dude,
now. Now that Bombay is here.
Hey, I got some.
yeah.
I got some questions. Whenever. Oh, my hand's down.
Shadow for just for like historical reference, Bombay is a true OG. He is
Oh, sweet.
a dope clone, and he has traveled along, and he's now back, and it just feels good, dude. I don't know, man. Bombay's a big part of my road, so
Hey, what's up,
Yo,
Bombay man?
uh,
I'm
if you
the.
decide to be like, yo, my glasses, I ain't feeling it today, like something's wrong with it, Bombay will be like, nah, that shit is fucking dope. Yo, that shit is so dope. Put that shit on. You know what I mean? Like that's Bombay.
Well, hey, man.
I love that Baron
I am.
traveled.
I am new. A static fanboy of Artifact, and I consume random ass knowledge and put it into threads. So nice to meet you, Bombay.
and he
Yeah,
built
listen, bro. Like the journey.
Bombay.
Yeah.
You
Go
hear
ahead,
what
please,
he builds for his wife too, just like
bro.
you. You know, he knows how to do chores.
I build up my wife. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we build together, and we build with each other. But I will say, it's been a long journey, bro. Like I've taken a step back. I've been in, I've been out, I've been here, I've been there, I've been everywhere. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna be the first to admit, like 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 I've grown into who I want to be. Like again, like there's a couple things I don't do on Twitter. Like I don't shill projects and I don't argue with anons. That over random shit. I just do my own. I just do my thing, bro. Um, I have my lane I'm in, and that's it, bro. Um, and I just try to keep it unique and be me. And I love rocking the clone PFP. I love Artifact. I'm gonna be the first to admit that Artifact is far from perfect, and there's a lot that needs to be done, and worked on better. But that's not what it is. You know what I mean? And I come from the perspective of like embracing the FUD, embracing the criticism, and just stepping up and working hard about it. Because that was some like I used to be able to be like, yo, fuck FUD, but now it's like, bro, like if they don't FUD, bro, like then you get forgotten about, bro. And once you get forgotten about, bro, that's a dangerous place to be in, and you just kind of stay in this like abyss place. And now you're seeing it all around, bro. Everybody's getting FUDed, dog. And now it's like how people react from it is super important, and just take it and embrace it and kind of just like and learn from it.
Yeah,
And so,
Yeah, from
like I've realized that like Artifact is like not going anywhere. If everything goes to zero, bro, at least I have it benefits as an access pass to dope shit, bro. I love rocking Artifact swag, bro. Like if my whole closet can be Artifact, bro, I'm game, bro. Like I was walking
Yeah.
around the other day with my Artifact shit on, and a homie was like, "Yo, nice T-shirt, bro." I was like, "Look at this motherfucker!" Like, yeah, I got a clone too. I was like, "Yo, what?" And like, bro, like the Artifact actually has culture, bro. It runs deep, like deep beyond Web3. Like they've been in this shit for a while. So like, I'm okay, bro. I'm comfortable with it, bro. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of work that needs to be done from the team to help things out. But I think we're in a good spot, and like I think people realize that it's a good long-term play. But short term, we got to shore some things up. But I'm chilling, bro. I'm chilling. I'm ready to take
yeah,
it on.
yeah, and so for me, because I want to say something. I guess this is really to everybody, because I came from the digital collectible side, um, and most people in my other community, we're super excited about the Todd McFarlane DC drop next week, which is going to be the first DC interoperable NFT. Um, 4K quality, just some really high end digital collectibles that will be able to go on MetaMask, OpenSea. So it's going to shake some stuff up. So I was over there and I was asking those guys, they were asking me about Artifact and things of that nature, and they're still saving up. Some of them now are even going a little bit higher because they don't feel like there's any rush. And we've been slowly accruing or picking up clones, right? So although it is FUD, a lot of people, like for me, like I read through the whole FUD and before I even picked up my clone, and a lot of it was like, oh, I don't want to feel like a consumer, and oh, I don't want to feel like all this other stuff. And it was like I said, like I think it was the other day, I was like, yo, even if everything went to zero, you guys still have historical Nike collab like stuff. Well, you'll be getting them because Nike's never done an artifact and a blade or shared the Nike swoosh with anybody. They just let Travis Scott do it backwards. Y'all are getting actual merch, and rather people don't like that they feel like a consumer or not. Like it's it's limited merch that only people a part of this community can get. And honestly, with what's going on in the marketplace, and I even posted this yesterday. I mean, in my opinion, I'm used to crypto cycles. So to me, this may be just me watering everything down, but NFTs are just in a delayed bear cycle. Um, there's a lot of posts going around like, oh, this is looking like Moonbirds or Doodles or CloneX. So everybody's catching random stray bullets from projects that are slowly going down. I mean, after captains have their drop, we'll see what happens with captains floors. And to me, if everything was at 2 Ethereum, right? Would we then drop the straight bullets and just everybody just focuses on building their project or brand um, to the best that it can be? You know what I mean? I've never understood why Artifact always caught straight bullets. It was the weirdest thing to me because it's like it was almost as
We're
if
catching them today, bro.
you said what?
So many stray bullets I saw on the timeline today. Like people explaining their bags by saying, "Oh, it's gonna happen,"
Yeah,
like clone it. Oh my
there's some
god!
people
I
that
was
are
like,
like,
leave us out of your conversation. Keep us out of your
yeah,
conversation.
like there's
No,
some.
but I think that's okay though. I don't see the problem with that. It's just because it's just discourse happening amongst Web3 people, right? Like because like we saw it, right, and now you're seeing like with Bazooki and it going down, and so they're comparing it with like Doodles and Artifact because like we did have a serious decline in floor price, right? So like it is what it is, bro. It happens in sports, bro. Like my other Twitter, they be random. They looking like the Pelicans. You know what I mean? Like.
Detroit
It,
Lions.
yeah, bro. Like it is what it is.
I don't know what
But
you're talking
Like
about. I'm
but
up. Like everybody knows this PFP. I am
and so
up. Like
and so
before
that's what
nobody
it
knew
is.
me,
yeah,
but
I'm
now
up.
everybody knows
you did a good
subscribe.
job, subscribe, bro. You
Yo,
did a
you know
good job,
what?
bro.
I'm up. I'm up.
We up,
Yeah, and
bro.
so
We
that's
up.
the
We
thing.
up,
Like
I'm
bro.
so
I
fucking
got
up.
an ice demon for 2 ETH. That's fucking crazy, bro. I don't
This man is up,
like.
Bombay.
I'm not even looking at historic prices because I bought it from somebody who mint and he never sold, and I guess he just threw in the towel and he just round tripped it all the way back to mint price. But I mean, it happens sometimes. But when I saw this one, I was like, yeah, that's me right there. Here we go. And it's just kind of like I understand that cycles happen, and I know things don't stay up forever. I mean, it is very ironic because you guys kind of, I say you guys, I'm meaning like NFT as a whole, because like I said, I've only been in this side of OpenSea religiously, like actually paying attention to what you guys have been doing for the past like 3 months. And it's just so funny to me because when I go back and read messages, it's almost sounds like Bitcoin, like second bull market, where it's like this time we're not going down, we're going up forever. It's like, bro, everybody's gonna correct. If Izuki goes to 2, Captains goes to Zoom 2, Munabe, if everything's at 2, I just hope that when we get there, people just realize like it's not really a bad thing. Like you can't stay up forever. You will find a bottom eventually, but I will say this: those like Artifact who are working with their heads down, checking off these lists from all these seasons that you guys already got minted out for. We know Animus is coming out, and we understand like a good heading of what's coming next. Those who are building, those are the ones that, I would say would probably see a rise in the mid to long term, right? But in the short term, yeah, a lot of these projects can still come down a bit more. I just see it as Artifact just moved quicker to the goal because there was a lot of FUD surrounding you guys. That was it. I mean, it's not even that serious, but I get what you mean. Like everybody out there is like they're acting like the black plague is going around. If so and so goes below 5, it's over. We're done. Everybody needs. It's like, bro, just chill. Now, if it's about a bag, it's about a bag. I mean, yeah, the price is
Yeah,
not
we
going
can
to come
tell him.
down.
We can tell him it's going to be okay, right, Shadow?
I mean, you would
Like if it
hope
goes
so,
below
but
5,
I'm not going to say anything to
yeah,
those guys because they're just going to
it's good.
retaliate. They're like a cornered cat right now.
I loved what Bombay said. He said he doesn't engage with Anons. I don't either. It's a good policy. You know what I mean? It's
Personally,
not worth it, man.
personally, my take on the whole FUD situation, I think of it the same way Kanye would. Last time I checked, even though Kanye has severed his ties with these fashion companies he's done deal with, and actually was scheduled to release a few other models of Yeezys with, he split off with them and he's gone on to do arguably better. Does the brand that he's built up over decades suffer in the short term? Maybe, but in the long term, Kanye is still Kanye, and whenever he does his Kanye antics, that's more attention that goes to himself as opposed to say Balenciaga or whatever other fashion company that's established, that's legacy, that's trying to rip him off actually, because the only reason why these companies are getting any clout right now is really for because of people like him, people that are really trying to push the envelope and trying to introduce new ways of thinking and new ways of engaging with culture. And that's why what he's done with Yeezys was such a success story. Like a lot of people really underestimated him as a performer, and they really thought that this guy could never really make a dent in the fashion industry. And now he's effectively built up a $1 billion brand on his own effectively. And he leveraged the cosign that he's gotten from these big fashion houses, and even though he split off with them, it doesn't really matter. He still has that core following of people that will buy whatever he puts out at a moment's notice. And I feel that the Artifact team and really anything associated with that image very much tends to benefit in a very similar way, and the FUD doesn't really matter. And I'd even go as far as to say that the further the better. Like at the end of the day, a lot of the people that are complaining right now, they're doing so because they have time to do so. Last I checked, people that are really stacking it and killing it, like they're not out here on Twitter bitching. They're actually getting something for their time, and making it worth their while. And that's really where I'm gonna leave it. I'm just gonna hop off. I appreciate y'all having me up here for a little bit, and I hope to catch you around whenever the next one happens.
Tomorrow night, bro. See you there. I wish we had the salute emoji. I could just like throw that up. We need more emojis, Elon, if you're listening. Um, this ties into that content creation shit. You're really struggling. We're struggling on the spaces, bro. We need emojis. Shadow, you're right, bro. And Bombay, you're right, dude. I said I don't understand why we're catching strays, but I last night in the space I was talking about humans all naturally we compare everything. We compare what we know, right? So in this space we only know so far like the things that have happened. So when people are making comparisons on the timeline and they just so happen to compare to like a current fall of projects to CloneX or Doodles, it feels like we're getting shots at us, but you're right. They're just all they have is comparison. So we talked about that last night actually. So I get that. But like Shadow said, we've been dealing with we've been dealing with
Yeah, I'm
shots
actually.
for 6 months. I'm like, what the fuck? Why are we in your conversation? You're having a hard time, and now you're gonna shit on Artifact again while you're having a hard time. Like, bruh. But
Keep her name out my mouth.
I'm ignoring it too. It's not my business, bro. I think that if you're in good projects that have building businesses with utility, they're building revenue streams, they're not having to put out NFTs to raise money anymore. We're in a bear market. If you're in these companies that are building brands and global national identities, you're going to be all right. And I'm going to be focusing on myself, the community that I'm building with, the people that I'm building with out here, you guys. That's what I'm here for, to be honest. And what's up, bro?
And that's how like that's how like quick this space moves. Like like at the time when people were, it was like towards the end of the bull, right? And it was like the oh we don't I don't want to feel like a consumer. It was like that was like the perception of things, right? It was like it was like they're all getting royalties, and then but now it's like we're in a bear market, no royalties, and now it's like oh like what are the NFTs that are building a business, right? And so it's like and that's why it's just and so that was like shifting into the artifact favor where it's like it doesn't matter, like artifact will be around no matter what, as we see projects like slowly die and slowly needing to find liquidity to keep businesses going, right? Like we saw with Ether, like how like the mint debacle, how they needed it was about because they needed runway, and and so it that's why it's so important to be able to keep your finger on the pulse and like navigate the streets accordingly. Um, and without sacrificing that long vision, and it's so hard to do. Like we're good. Like Artifact is going to be good long term. Like no matter what the price is, they have runway. It's just need to they just need to sure up like the short term feeling and the little things like marketing, right? Like marketing, like empowering community, and growing community. So it's not easy, and that's why you have to spend money to make to on marketing and on people. Um, and yeah, it's the space changes so fast, bro. Like it's crazy. I do see the sentiment actually changing. Like, people, the reply guys and whatever, like, but like, I do listen to like other spaces. Like there's like the daily talk shows and for like smart people, and they all respect Artifact, bro. Like, they all admire, and they all respect Artifact. Um, and so it's just we just need to capitalize on that right now. I just wish, I wish that like the founders would build more with transparency, um, and so like a little bit like so to show us a little bit what's going on, and these type of things need to improve, like the little things, because the little things go a long way, right? Um,
Dude,
to shore up some stuff. So
I was
yeah.
of that mindset in the past, dude. We've had some spaces where I was like, yeah, no, I would love to know what's kind of going on. I'd love to see what's being built behind the scenes type shit. But then I realized that a lot of other people in this space, or a lot of companies in this space will like ideas will get stolen, bro. Like they could show us shit without like showing us like the full picture, and show us like how the mechanics work and stuff. I'd love that, but I understand why they're careful, because it will just straight up ideas, mechanics, things will just straight up get jacked in this space so quick. I've seen it. I've seen it multiple times now. I see why they're quiet, but I think we talked about the season one. Like I would have loved. We would talk about loving. We would have loved a video to show behind the scenes the planning and process behind how big of a task it was to put season one together, and that would have been fire to see that. So shit like that is what I was
And
thinking.
we would understand the delays better, like like
Hell yeah,
um,
bro.
because I mean, because like that's it like they're doing such dope shit, but sometimes like the user experience suffers because of like the delays and then like the silence a little bit. It's like damn, like it's like so close to having like a full like who does a great job at it, bro, is Luca. Like he's able to tweet his thoughts out and like kind of like more of on like a like a psychological philosophical level, and then he'll execute it like right there, right? And I think he's a great founder. And Luca and like Zap are they're homies. Like they go way back. Like I think he does a great job of like managing and being active, but not like um saying this is what we're doing, and then he'll go out and execute. And he's building a business, right, with products and stuff similar to what Artifact is doing and the vision and the stuff. So like it can be done. It can be done. It's just a personality thing. Like he's just like a forward facing person. But yeah, I do really respect how Luca runs Pudgy Penguins and what they're doing.
I like when they take my ideas. I don't know. I can't do it, so take my ideas. Like that swoosh took my classic idea. That was dope. I was like, yeah, that's how you sell, 100,000 like Web 2 into Web 3 product. I'm like, you just make classics, and they took
Yeah,
that and
bro,
run with it.
remix it. Just remix it, right?
Every time I want to be really super critical on projects, or like be really like hard on that, I think about that quote from Gordon Goner, and when he said, "I don't know, I don't know, so and so. Why don't you start an NFT project and get everything right?" So then I go, maybe I shouldn't be so critical, because there ain't no way I could handle the pressure that some of these massive brands are kind of doing. I don't know. Why don't you start a project and fucking get everything right? I'll find the quote. I have it saved. I'm gonna put it as my screensaver.
But like LVMH had like dropped their shit and then immediately had Pharrell drop a custom bag. Like why didn't Nike hook Artifact up with some shit like that? Some marketing. And that's like my shot to that is like if Nike's really in this, which they say they are, then get in it. You know, back these guys up, show the spaces. It's just like there's no one here. If there was a time to come and be present, and just they don't even have to come and fucking talk about the project. Just come and hang out in the lunchroom. Come and hang out at the water cooler, dude. Let's talk. Let's talk about what's going on in the world. I don't give a shit what we talk about. Just be here.
Yes,
And it
the little
doesn't have
things,
to be
right? The
Zach.
little things.
It doesn't have to be Ben. It doesn't have to be Chris. Just find someone that's good that can be here on a consistent basis for the people.
You,
Because
you,
asking your community to do it and paying
you
them
know who does a good
zero,
job at that?
it's not the
Is
way.
Jarlin. Jarlin does a good job at that,
Yeah.
actually.
It's just there's no
He's good.
consistency, man. It's like
Yeah.
it's like you can tell they're all work from home, different geographic locations. There needs to be a schedule. They need to get on shifts, or they need to pick somebody that's their responsibility. Is to show up and do it like once a week. Do it once every 2 weeks, or pick somebody that's going to do tweets. That's good at that. It's kind of funny at the keyboard, right? Doesn't have to talk shit about the project, man, but just be present. And because when you're not putting out any like content, the silence is it just it's painful for there's no way no one like unless somebody digs deep like a shadow, like you're not going to catch anybody's eye at this point. And the creators are doing a great job. We're going in the right direction, but those little things will go a long way right now. There's nothing to be afraid of here. These guys are on IG. Zap's on IG.
Toby's on IG. They're not here because they got put, freaking taken out. But they put, they're putting out stuff there. They're commenting on Takashi's stuff. Like, it's not like their NDAs prohibiting them from being there. They can be here. Have somebody get on their Twitter account for them. That's what I would do. There's no fucking way, excuse me, there's no freaking way that I would be on my own Twitter account. I would hire somebody that was good at it to do it for me, that knew the rules of the game, meaning under Nike's compliance. But it's like, are they even getting guidance on that? Because by having, like, whenever I have a mistake in, like, it's like an act of omission versus commission. Like, you make a mistake, you own up to it. You don't do anything and you don't tell anybody about it. It's the worst thing ever, right? You try to cover it up. So I view that with, like, communication and just, like, presence. Like, there's
Like
like
for example, Baron, the CAA or the Shuimeru announcement. Like I don't even know what that is, right? If we had like someone like a community manager to get into like one of these big spaces, like not even that big, bro. Like get into like these big spaces and just like explain a little bit about what it is so people know. Like that shit would be fire, bro. Like you know who does a good
the
job
people
in
are here,
in
dude.
the in the
Who?
Azuki community, like Dem, like they hired Dem, right? Because Zag is he's not a great public speaker, bro. Like, but they hired someone to go out into these big spaces to tell what's going on, and even whether good or bad, right? Like they got somebody, and he goes in there and explains it. I think that would go a long way too. Like
Yeah,
whether it's
I've
Cass
brought it up to
or
people
Anya
before.
or whatever, like just have someone like a forward-facing community manager that stretches beyond the clone community and that's in the Web3 community. And so people
I
know
mean, they
about
should
it.
have like when there's a signing with CAA, can't there be
Yeah,
some sort of press release that comes out from legal?
you don't
CAA
have
is
to
the
release
biggest
all the
talent
sauce,
agency in
bro.
the country. You don't have to say
Yeah.
shit. You can
No, just be like,
say,
yo, this is what CAA is. Because I don't know, we don't even know what CAA is.
yeah, I
Like,
do. It's
just
the
tell
biggest
what.
talent agency in the country,
Right,
man. Like,
right. But not a
literally,
lot of people in Web3 knew that, right? So like, at least just like explain what CAA is and some of the kind of the potential and what they've done before with their clients, and then that's it. Boom. Like, oh, okay, that's dope. That's actually major,
it's
right?
more than
That
major.
that's a major. That was, bro. That's major. So like, that's why I'm like, bro, Artifact long term, we gravy, bro. We
All
Gucci.
right,
Yeah,
It's the
I'm a
gravy.
little
bust
Like,
things. It's
dude,
in.
you
just the
gotta
little
I'm a
things.
bust in. I'm a bust in.
bust
All
up,
right.
bust in.
I wanted to draw some parallels because I've been sitting here thinking. So, Baron, I 100% agree with you. But before I can really put my finger on it, to me, it really goes to I need to understand the team more. And unfortunately, the only way that I can understand the team more than I already have, because I'm pretty sure I've seen every live stream and every spaces, or if that even was a space, I don't even know. I've just voice recording, I guess you could say. I've consumed everything that I can to get a feel of the type of person our founders are for this brand. But in order to get a heading of what their idea is or what they're trying to do, I do personally need to hear more from them. So here's what I will say. And we know we have people in here that are able to hopefully get this through. I would say I would agree with you to this extent. We need at least, even if it's just to just touch base, like it can, I don't even care what it's about. It can, hell, it can even be about just an update on order deliveries, nothing related to what's coming in the future or anything new. But we do need to have a space from the founders, because I personally, I think the last time we've heard from them or heard their voices, I believe was that time at the Japan event, and then right afterwards there was that Takashi Murakami event that happened where they were on stage with the translator and stuff. But there hasn't been like an event or spaces or anything like that. Now, I will give them this. They jumped on threads really quick, right? I was very surprised at how quickly they jumped on spaces. But the comparisons that I'm making is I will say, unfortunately, with these big brands, okay, and this is the part where Baron, you're probably gonna disagree with me, so I gotta play devil's advocate. With unfortunately with these big brands, they have kind of like a no BS type of like tolerance. So it's kind of like they don't even risk being on stage to be asked a
Doesn't have to
question.
be the founders. I didn't say. I don't want the founders here.
Oh, okay.
If they can't be here, it puts them at risk. Find somebody from the team that's good at it to
Got
be
you.
here.
Got you.
And don't rely on the community. The community will learn from them and follow.
So then
Zap's not going to be.
so then I would
Those guys aren't going to be here.
yeah. So I
Go ahead.
understand what you're saying now. So that makes it a little bit easier because yes, I do think, and I'm just throwing out random names here. If you threw in like Anya or Cass or just somebody who could be that person that can like lead like a regularly scheduled space, that could probably be like the best thing possible right now. And it can just possibly be just housekeeping. No, like, hey, tell me what type of animus are coming up next, but just like, hey guys, this is what we're going to talk about today, and we'll have a small section at the end for questions, and that's kind of like the update. We do need a figurehead to kind of touch base with us now. And I know Cass was kind of doing those town halls. That's why I was trying to figure out if those are scheduled or if those are random. It seems like those are kind of more just as they are needed. But I agree with you there. But here's what I would say: go to Dot Swoosh, right? Dot Swoosh is acting exactly like Nike would act. Nike, they're so big they don't feel the need to update their community, right? They will update you and they will tell you what's going on when it's going on, and if you buy it or not, it's up to you, right? That's kind of like where Nike is. There hasn't been an update on Dot Swoosh in I believe like 3 weeks. There's no marketplace. The last thing we heard from them was basically, "Hey guys, those shoes that you just bought, those are actually not the shoes that are going to be available to be used in the EA games. We're actually going to drop a whole other set of shoes called game ready shoes. And those will be the ones that will be ready. And also, the next set of shoes are going to be the Air Maxes that will be exactly like the Air Force Ones that will also not be able to be game ready. So then the questions are, okay, so what do we do with these shoes now? When can we get 3D files? And is there any possibility for them to be fully interoperable to where we can take them off platform? Or are we just meant to just sit and enjoy them and the game ready shoes will be the interoperable ones? Well, guess what we got? We got radio silence and no update, no heading, no indication of what's going to happen next. And you know why most of the sneakerheads in my other community understand that is because that's what Nike does. You'll get a push alert or on the sneaker app when the next big drop is happening, and it'll just have a page load or video of information, and now things are ready to go. Unfortunately, with big IP, they go into these like hibernation periods where you get no updates, you get no touch bases, you get none of that stuff. They just release the product when the product's ready. Artifact, I don't want to say is going to have to follow in line with that, but if we don't have what you're asking for, where somebody can touch base with us to just clear up community, you
Then,
know,
real
yeah,
quick, I hear what you're saying. All right, so the only thing I would say then is if we're going that route, we need to have a dashboard on the website where it's perfectly clear what I need to know about.
exactly.
Because I cannot be required to go to Twitter and look through all the tweets and see all the bullshit that I don't want to see,
Yeah,
right? To figure out what's going on with
yeah,
Artifact.
you are correct.
Just put a dashboard, a message board up there. Because, and I've said this to the team before, it's like part of the problem is I don't know. I got to check every day what's going on, even though I don't really expect to see anything, just to like, make sure I'm not missing anything, right? And then I get drawn into Twitter and see all the bullshit, and then I
Yeah,
get drawn into the negativity. It's like, on a weekday, I get drawn in, right? So then just have me go to a note, tell me where to go. So when I roll over, or get a break at work, it's like I can just check a site, or I don't have to scroll through your timeline to figure out what's going on. So that would be, I hear what you're saying. I appreciate it too. It helps my perspective. That's all I got right now.
No, yeah, Anya just she just tagged me in the dot swoosh, their latest, the quick highlights. I'll read through this. Okay, yeah, I see at the bottom 3D files in 2 weeks and accessories or achievements in August. So yeah, the main thing though that we're
I mean,
waiting
because
for is the marketplace and interoperability questions, but that at least gives us an idea what's coming on. But that's the thing, right? So let's take that with Dot Swoosh because the reason why I say we have to compare the two is because Dot Swoosh is like 100% Nike, and so whatever and however they're doing communication with Dot Swoosh, that is the type of communication we should expect with
yeah,
Artifact. I mean,
the apple's not going to fall far from the
exactly.
tree.
So if they're going
Right. No,
to
I
put
hear you.
out Twitter threads and say, hey, these are two things to look forward to, they don't have like when the next space is. They don't have like, you
That's
know what I
fine. But
mean?
people know like the medium that they communicate, right?
Yeah.
They also didn't. They've trained their people from day one not to expect much, right? There was at one point Artifact was tweeting all the time, and so things are changing. But yeah, like set expectations, I think helps, and scheduled, even if it's a quarterly update. It's like it's a
Yeah.
way to know that you're here. You know what I
One
mean?
one of the things with Vivi when I was
Or
when
update, not even an update, but like an AM or just a chill space. They were so good at it
yeah,
before. There's people here really good at it. Go
one of
ahead.
the things with Vivi that another platform I was a moderator for, one of the big things we got to this point, like where our community that back then the community was like, yo, we want to hear more from the founders, right? It was the actual founders, Dan and David. So what they started doing is they started doing a weekly Twitter space. And I would say this, at first, it was bliss. People were coming up. They even had like a speculation period where people could just come up and say, it would be cool if we can have an arcade as an NFT and play the arcade game inside the app. Like just some crazy stuff. And they'll be like, you know what, we'll get somebody on it. But no, seriously, guys, this is what we're working on. But that is definitely a cool idea, right? But then what happened was after about 2 months of doing that, what happened is you then started getting people who were frustrated with their bags being down. You had people who were just it started to turn sour very quickly. And it got to the point where when they did eventually hire a marketing person, the first thing he said was, you guys are no longer hosting weekly spaces anymore. We are now going to move to a email based updating of the community. And it was kind of like cold turkey, where we went from a weekly Tuesday or Thursday space from the founders to this is what you get to look forward to in the next few months. And then after those few months, you got another email. And the reason why, and well, a lot of us was like, yo, like, what's going on? We used to have this direct connection to the founders, and now we don't. And this is me filtering the community to the marketing manager and the founders of the NFT project. And basically, the guy Alex was like, "Look, the reason why we had to stop that is because I saw that it. You would get to my own stage that would either ask, and this is going to sound really shitty. I'm not saying this is what Artifact is doing, but you would have somebody that would come on stage that would ask a hardball question that could legally get us into trouble or have us to lose certain partners depending on how the founders answer. And I'm not going to be marketing, being a marketing manager and controlling how marketing is done and all those different things and how communication is done if every single week I have to be walking on eggshells because at one moment a founder can say something that can derail or have us lose sponsorships, partnerships, lose a deal that's been in the works, all because the irate user came on stage to complain about something that was completely out of their control. So there's a lot of risk as well too, and that's the part that we don't
Yeah, no,
realize. So yeah.
yeah, no, I hear that. So that's helpful too. So then, what they should do, because that's true, you can like defame something really easily, and you can't even control what that person said, and it's your space, and so then, why don't you think about then go back to just a message board like the email route um, the team that you were just talking about did. It's like, if you're going to have updates, here's how they're coming. We're not doing, if they can't do spaces, which based on what you just said, they can't, right? It's just like, it's not going to work. It'll fizzle out. We got spaces here, right? So just tell us the mode of communication that we should expect, and that way, again, it's like what Compound said last night. It's like, that way when people ask, like, when are we going to hear from the team? It's like, here's how we hear from the team. They post things to here, and you can check there. They don't post there that often. You don't need to be a psycho about it. It's like me telling my clients, you don't need to go check the market every day, right? Just check in. And then when things do get posted, it also hits the timeline quick because people are talking about it. So you'll see it there. But if a good place to check is here, right? Again, those formalities will help us. I appreciate your perspective. Again, it's like, because what you just said makes sense. And we shouldn't go down the road of having spaces for that reason, I would say.
Well, to add on to what Shadow said, when Chris came out to LA to do the Bad Take Live, he knew Dre was hosting, right? And he knew us, and he knew that we. I assume he knew that we weren't going to put him in a situation where it was going to get. He was going to be put into a situation on a live stream that would compromise his anything with Nike, right? Like Dre is a great host, and he knew that there was not going to be any kind of situation that would be, that could get him in trouble. And usually they got to run these things by, like, usually when you're going on to TV, it's being recorded. It could be saved on the internet forever. It's got to be run by, like, hey, this is what we're doing. Here's, where it's at, where it's at. But that one specifically, I know he just flew out to LA and trusted Dre to not put him into any sticky situations. And he had Bobby Hundreds on there too, right? And Dre is such a good host that, like, they both knew that it would go well, and it did go very well. So Shadow makes a really good point there. And then we had a few spaces. Zap came on to one of Sneaker Soapbox spaces, and then we had the one that we both hosted there, and it was like a trust building thing, right? Like, we're not gonna throw you some question that you're not able to answer that could get you in trouble with the higher ups. Like, that's just not something that we're gonna do.
So, and I'll give a good example of what kind of happened the second to last space. We had some psycho that came on stage after we had a Ukraine relief NFT drop, where all proceeds went to relief efforts in Ukraine, and we're a global project. And we had, unfortunately, I'm not going to say he was Russian, but we had someone that came on stage and was like, why don't you guys do a drop for Russian people who have been terrorized by Ukrainians for all these years, and da da da? Why are we only doing a drop for Ukraine? That was to the co-founders of the project. So, and that's like what he was talking about when he said, like, you have to be open to just receive just crazies, right? Somebody can come on stage and just say just something blatantly racist, but then the problem is that we were like, oh, well, then we'll let us, the moderators, just filter out the questions. Well, that's what we did on the last space. We had moderators filtering out the questions, and people got really upset because they felt like we were just cherry picking questions from people who always get to talk to the people in charge, and we're just choosing whales to be able to get their answers chosen, and that caused a whole bunch of flood and drama. And so then what ended up happening is, by trying to communicate with the community, I say we because I was a part of it at that time, we kind of created a whole other monster where people started to question, where, why can't I come up and ask a question anymore? Why are you only answering questions from these types of people? And so the thing is that I agree with you when I say that it would be nice to have some form of baseline. And for us at the time, that was just an email saying, hey, these are our Q2 goals. Our Q2 goals is cash out. Our Q2 goals is doing a marketplace reward system where you accrue points for your buys and the sells and that type of stuff. And we expect another update, at the end of Q2. So now the whole like 3-4 month period, everybody's just chilling. And then when we get to the end, we send out another email. This is what's going on. And now in between these will be pre-recorded videos for drops and curated things. But I also believe that the reason why we're not seeing a lot from Artifact right now, and this is 100% my opinion, I believe that what's going on right now is it could be a mix between market sentiment and things being ready or not being ready yet. And if things aren't ready, you can't really talk about it. If things are ready, but the market's not ready for as big of a drop as they're trying to drop, you feel like you're just kind of like gouging a community that's already down. It's just I'm just thinking of different things. So it's a hard one. It's basically all I'm trying to say is it's a hard one, but I would also like a, hey guys, at the end of September, we're going to have an update. You know what I mean? Now, they may or may not be able to do something like that because if it is dependent on license agreements, they move around. It wouldn't be license agreements for us. It would be like collaboration deals and plans. And if we're partnering with Louis Vuitton, Louis Vuitton would be like, hey, we actually have this event in December, so we now, instead of doing the collab in October, we want to now do it in December. And now you just told your community to expect an update at the end of September where you were going to announce the October stuff. It gets crazy, bro. I don't even know where I'm going. I'm kind of answering my own question, but yeah, it's hard. It's not easy.
Shadow having a conversation with himself, answering his own
Yeah,
questions.
dude.
He's
Well,
like, "Oh no, that makes sense. No,
it
you're
makes
right."
sense. That's kind of how I feel too. It makes sense. I hear you, Shadow. You know what I'm saying? We're on the same page, my man. Fucking Bombay's back in here with a lime green sweatshirt, everybody. This is unbelievable.
I will say, Bombay has practically been in every episode since his last time speaking. I've seen him in here. I do check and see who like pulls up, and Bombay been in every single fucking one.
No,
So,
but he hasn't been up on stage, Con.
oh, I know. That's what I'm saying. That since he last spoke, but I look and he listens, and I'll throw him some hearts every once in a while.
He was always here, but he wouldn't come up. But dude, he's got a green sweatshirt on here.
Baron, you know what it is, man? Here's what it is.
What is it?
It's really hard to come up and talk when you haven't found your identity yet. Like he didn't have that clone that he identified with, and you heard it in his voice. He's up here, and you could hear, like when Rupsy was talking the last few times that he's talked, you could hear in his voice that he found the clone that like he just fucks with, right? So I understand Bombay's out there searching and prowling the open. He's a pirate. He's on the open seas as a pirate. Just
What was the pirate?
look, yeah,
What was
Yo,
the
he
pirate
he
he was
got a
referencing?
hexagon. Bombay, when you got a hexagon, man?
he's on
Bro,
the open.
I'm hexed up. I'm checked up. I'm bricked up. Come
He
on
was
with it.
He was traveling the open seas as a pirate, looking for his identity,
I
and he
was, bro.
found it.
Bro. The pirate was so sick, bro. But I was like, I was in my pirate phase of just like, on the rough seas, navigating the waters. Like I had to go on a bender, bro. I say, let me take a step back, bro. Let me go on a bender. Let me commit my sins. Let me do the dirty work. Let me take the full lap. You know what I mean? Like let me go, let me get my shit off. Let me go get my treasure. Let me come back with the lime green. I got a beard now. My hair's down. I used to have the curtains, right? But now that shit got messy because of the open seas. So now I'm down. I got my beard on, and I came back with the lime green treasure. I'm lime gang now, bro. Whatever that is, I'm there. So, bro. Nah, it's bro.
I'm gonna
I always love.
have to excuse myself.
Yeah, bro.
Take a quick
Oh
walk.
man,
I'll be
bro.
back.
I'm always here, bro. It's just I needed to take a break, bro. I needed to separate myself because it is, bro. At the end of the day, my conviction lies with God and my family, bro. Like y'all are cool, but
Me too.
we gotta take care of of what we gotta do first and get
100%.
right, bro. And this place is not going anywhere, bro. Like, and what's funny is I changed my PFP, and then like all of a sudden now everyone's changing their PFPs, right? Like, you have to put some respect on your name, bro. Your name means more than anything, bro. The
We've
PFP,
always said
bro.
it, right?
You know exactly, bro. Like the PFP, bro. People get used to it 3-4 weeks, and then they're used to it, bro. But you gotta just make sure your name is good. And so that's what I was just doing, bro. Like, so yeah, man,
Hey, that's real though, man.
you
That's 100% real, bro. At the end of
yeah,
the day,
yeah.
like, look, I'm all down for all this, evolving tech. There are limits to what I agree with, what I will get involved with. I mean, hey, bro. I mean, everybody gonna be lining up to get those chips in their heads. I'm gonna have to pass on that one. But at the end of the day, bro, what's
I
up?
only
No,
go.
but
You
at the
good, bro?
end of
Keep
the
going.
day, I've learned for some people it's two. Most people it should be at least one. You should take care of your health over anything, and that's mental health and physical health. Make sure you're taking care of those two things. And then the other thing that I would say is, whatever you do, this is kind of like taking care of your mental health. For me, it's my religion. For others, it doesn't have to be religion. It can be philosophies, just the way that you see life, energies, yoga, whatever that is, man. Have something like that in your life because that keeps us in my opinion, that connects us more to what I would say is, I guess, like our just human side, right? We're social creatures. We are not meant to be isolated. We're not meant to be, you know, we just aren't meant to be stressed out all the time. So just take care of yourself. Focus on the important things in life. This NFT stuff will always be here. So I don't even know you, but if you had to take time to step away, bro, and now you back, bro, that I think that's fucking amazing, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the guy, dude. He's that guy, Shadow. I've realized, man, in my time, I'll be 40 this year. I need God in my life and I need people. And there's a long time where I was like, man, I hope God never finds me, man. But yeah, so we're good now. And he
You know,
always wants us to come
one thing
back,
that's good
man. Like
about
that pig,
clones
those
is,
guys
bro.
in the pig pen. What
Exactly.
is it?
Baron is a real one, bro. I'm trying to say that he's a real one through the thick and thin, bro. Like and it's okay to like right now, like what we're doing. We had a nice, productive conversation. We're engaging. We're providing feedback. We're criticizing. We're here. We're bro. It's okay. This is all part of the ebbs and the flows, bro. Like and so it's gonna be what it is, bro. And like I had to de-risk a little bit, but I found my joint, bro. I got a couple communities that I'm part of, bro, and we're gonna rock with it, bro. And shit changes, bro. Like it's okay, bro. Like shit gonna change, and we're gonna be here, and it is what it is. But yeah, man. Like one thing good about clones is, bro, is like, cause I'm outside, right? Like most of my IRL friends, like they don't know what the hell an NFT is, bro. And and I was like, shit, bro. What the good thing is trying to explain it to them, like they low key get what CloneX is doing. So, it just trying to make it make sense, bro. And I just love rocking my artifact gear, bro. Like I'm salty I didn't get the Ramoa suitcase. I might have to cop it because that shit looks so sexy. Um, but I missed out on that one. But I wear all my shit, bro. Like, bro, it's like I'm like, bro. Zap is also like Zap is the coolest motherfucker, bro. Like one of the coolest motherfuckers out. Period. Like y'all like beyond Web3, bro. I'm big into streetwear, bro. Zap's a streetwear legend, dog. Like absolute legend, dog. And I like the email newsletter actually because that's what publicly traded companies they put out quarterly newsletters for their investors. Like that's a good idea, bro. We don't need to go. Discord spaces are better too. I think I prefer if the founders are gonna do a space, do it in Discord, token gate it, and let the holders talk and do it there. That's what Luca does. I know that's what Frank does. Like I like that. I like that a lot. Keep it in Discord, and then we can communicate that on Twitter, um, and go from there. But bro, respect the blade, dog. The blade's so
Respect the
sexy,
blade,
bro.
man. Zap is the G,
Yeah,
dude.
bro.
You fall in love with him
Zach
when you
Zach
meet him.
is a bro.
He's like a
That's
little
the real thing.
kid,
Like,
man. The guy's got the
bro, I
biggest
want to
smile on
hear
his
the
face.
story of Bro, he's such a. I want to hear the story of Zap, bro. Like how he got into streetwear, like his like how he made his name in the game, like working Instagram, bro. He's an Instagram legend, dog. So these little like Clegg, bro. Like Chris is a fucking goat with the drawings. Like I just wish we can hear more of that stuff, and so we can be proud of our founders because they're so cool, bro, and they're different, bro. Like like they had clout before Web3, which is a beautiful thing, right? And so it would be nice to hear that a little bit more, and so we can share that. Um, and yeah, but my boy Kiro-san, he's been riding with me, bro. So yeah, bro, we here, dog. We fucking here,
There's
dog.
a little bit about Zap in that space I put above. You probably listened to it already, but there's a little bit about it. But yeah, I'd like to go deeper too. Sushi, my dude, what's up, bro?
What's up? What's up? First of all, what's up, Bad Take? Second, Bombay, congrats on your clone, Sparkly Starry Eye Gang, Lime Gang. I don't have a lime hoodie, so congrats for that. Love to see that clone, Human Gang, represent as well. Thank you for representing the humans. Got to represent the humans, right? Because we're being taken over by the angels and the demons. They're all cool and stuff, but humans are also pretty cool. Yeah, the founders. I love the founders. You're right. Zaptio's super. He's super stylish. I love them all. I love Benoit playing games. I love Clegg's designs. And I think the last point I wanted to make, you guys were talking about the silence. I don't know, man. Like Artifact has been, there's tons of communications. There's like tons of stuff. There's like the makeup one with Shu Uemura. There's like the Rimowa. There's plenty of stuff I think to be excited about. I think we just gotta trust the process and like I'm sure we just gotta wait, and I think patience has its reward. You know what I'm saying? Like I think Artifact will deliver. I think it's just a matter of time. Quality does take time, so yeah, trust the process. But I do feel you guys. I do hope the founders can come chill with us. Compound. I think you should invite them to Bad Take once in a while to get them like just chill with us. I think that would be great. But yeah, that's it for me. I think we just got to TTP, trust the process, and just enjoy the ride. I guess
But if
that's for
there's one
me.
thing, bro, Artifact does is they deliver quality, they execute well, they got respect, and they do
100%.
it's all good fly shit, bro. So and we all love
They
Artifact,
just
bro.
can't type well.
It's just the little things. It's just the little things, bro.
They
It's the little
couldn't.
things,
They
and
can't.
it's because we care, bro. We just care. We just care so much. We want to see the best. But
Exactly.
bro. I have utmost faith in Artifact and what they're doing long term. It's just the little things that can be. And you know what, bro? Like everyone can have some improvement, right, on the little
Yeah,
things.
that's
So
for sure.
yeah,
Sushi was
so
dropping bars. He's right. He's
yeah,
right
he
on
is.
point.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that. We all need to hear that stuff. I like hearing it from Nizuki too. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't realize Artifact just can't
I'm more of a
type.
quote though.
Curl. How did we not figure this out, dude? They can't type, dude. That's why they always use emojis, and their communication's terrible. Like not as up to snuff as a Baron would expect. But
Yeah,
what do you think
Baron,
about
I
it?
couldn't agree more. I don't think they can type either. I'm okay with that because every day when I go into my office and I look at that Rimowa bag and I peek into that dust bag, it fills me with so much joy, man. Like I fucking won. I fucking won. Sorry, my
Bro, it's
Yeah,
sexy.
vehicle
It's
is
sexy
weird.
as fuck, bro. That
it's
bag is sexy as fuck, bro.
it's
I'm
sitting
so
in they're sitting in my office in the dust bags with the ropes perfectly tied. I'm flying this weekend, and my wife's like, "You can't bring the bag." I'm like, "What?"
How? How are you gonna not be able to bring the bag on a flight?
She said soft luggage only. I can't bring the bag. I'm like, "Oh my god."
Baron's like, you think I make the rules, Compound? You're about to be married soon. You think you're gonna make the rules?
She's like, it's too heavy. I'm like, oh my god, dude, this is obscene. So we'll see. We'll see if I can sneak this thing on there. Oh man, it's such a good bag.
I want an Artifact Edition Tesla plaid. That's what
Do you
I
think
want.
that Artifact is Artifact spelled the way it is because they can't type? This is ridiculous.
Look at the realization we're coming to. That's why they got Anya out there. Her words are beautiful. She knows how to type. They got Anya. I hired her to proofread everything, make sure that it was Utah compliant. Anya, how are you?
This isn't fair. I came up here to add valid speech up here, and you guys are making me laugh so hard. It's terrible. How dare you? Also, when you said my name at first, I audibly gasped because I forgot I was on stage. I was listening for so long that I was like, "Oh yes, that's right, I'm on stage." I've been listening for like 3 hours. Anyways, I wanted to really quickly disperse any concern that the founders don't have at minimum 2 thumbs, each of them, And so I'm pretty sure we're perfectly fine on the typing end. I definitely don't think that I would be a good editor for any of their tweets or anything like that. So, and every single one of us has met Cass basically, so we can definitely confirm that he definitely knows how to spell and type pretty well. So I'd be suspicious there, but yeah.
I haven't met Cass yet. I'm gonna meet him in September though when I go to LA.
Yeah, meeting Cass is a trip. It's so funny because there's no distinction between his IRL voice and his Twitter voice when you meet him. So when you meet him, you're like, oh yeah, that makes so much sense. Like seeing your voice come out of you. Because we've just known each other for so long. It's so funny to see him in person. But it's been like that actually with everyone, anybody that I've ever met in IRL, but I'm always up here talking to. I'm like, oh man, I can see your PFP on your face. It's so crazy.
Whoa, you're a lot taller than I thought you were gonna be. Not gonna lie.
Really? I was hyping up my shortness too much. You thought I was shorter than I was?
Oh, most definitely. I thought you were way shorter.
I will say all of the shoes that I brought gave me at least 3 inches of height. So I mean, maybe I fooled you a bit on that end for sure.
That's
No,
a
no,
what a
I'm gonna
compliment.
translate for Kuro. He said, "Anya, you're a shrub."
Yo, Shadow. One day when you figure out subscribing myself, like you'll get it, man. We do super serious jobs, and we come here, and this is when we get to not be serious because with subscribes jobs, someone's life could be at risk. With mine, some plant's life could be at risk. So we
Hey,
come here. And we're
I
fun.
heard you guys talking
Yeah.
about artifact and it's being spelt wrong. What is artifact? We're clones. What? I feel One Piece. We don't even know what One Piece is, right? It's not even freaking done. It's 1,000 episodes in, and what the fuck is a One Piece? And I feel same thing with artifact. We got these shoes coming in, but we're fuck, that's not an
So it's
artifact.
not
That's
an
a shoe.
acronym?
What is an artifact?
Dude, those are
I thought
artifacts, my
artifact was
friend.
an acronym
No.
for something.
It's an artifact. It's what you
Like
find and be like, holy shit,
in
I
a
can't believe I
museum.
found
Then
this.
why?
Yeah.
There's no
Then why did
vowels.
they
Getting
spell it
them
like
in.
that?
So
Because there's no
because they
vowels.
can't type. Cool. Yo, so those bags that we got subscribed, those are artifacts. The shoes that are coming, artifacts. The PFPs, artifacts. The CIRLs, artifacts. What else?
Oh, where are you coming with
So
this
what if
conclusion?
the story
What do you mean?
so
I've
what
been
if
there.
the story behind all this is there's artifacts all over the world and they're dangerous to find. So somebody created clones so we could go around and find all these artifacts and bring home the sweet streetwear. What if that's the lore?
I love it, bro. Let's run with it.
I still think it's like the One Piece, and we don't know what the artifact is. Like, it's a mixture of these different animes and lore, like Star Wars. So we're like clones, and then you got a little bit of Pokemon in there, a little dab of that, and a little bit of shoe kind of thing going on. So I feel like it's a mixture of things. I think that artifact is more connected to like One Piece, right? Because One Piece is the best anime out there. It's like number one, right? Oh well, besides Pokemon, Pokemon is on the charts, but
Speaking of
but
Pokemon,
One Piece, you know what I mean? Like,
never mind. No, no,
go
no.
ahead,
I'm just.
Shadow.
What's One Piece?
It's just
Did you say what's One Piece?
what's One Piece? I don't know what One Piece is, man. Like,
Uh,
freaking, the
don't
artist needs to
don't get.
tell us what it is.
Are you
Luffy
talking
be running
about the
around turning
One
into
Piece
like this
or
white
One
creature.
Piece the show? There's two One Pieces.
Yes, the show. I mean,
What is One Piece?
So no
exactly
one
what
knows
is it?
what
Is it
it
a
is.
treasure?
I think One
Is it a
Piece
land?
is a
What is it?
What the?
What
it's a
is it
person.
though?
That's what I
One
think it
Piece.
is. I don't think it's a treasure. I think it's a person.
No, it's a
Yo,
one. It's one piece of gold. That's what all the pirates are fighting over.
Nah, I think it's a person, and I think that person can grant you a wish. Boom. All these people
I
in the
don't
One
know, man.
Piece
I
You
show.
guys,
Oh, go ahead.
you guys ever think that you just dig way too deep into shit, or is it just fun? What if there is no? What if there is no extra meaning? I don't know what One Piece is. Is this an
it's
anime
the
show?
piece
Bruh.
of the donut,
It
like the
One
Earth
Piece
is
is
a
an
donut, so it's
anime.
like that piece that is missing.
One Piece is an anime. Luffy is trying to be king of the pirates. He goes around, gets a ragtag team of pirates together. They go on adventures, grow hella strong, and start fighting warlords and solving racism and doing all kinds of cool pirate shit. It's the best anime ever created, the best story ever told, and it's not.
No, no, no. It's not the best. Okay, you didn't mention. Guess what? Guess what the best anime is?
If you
Because it's
say
not One
Demon
Piece.
Slayer,
No, I didn't say Demon Slayer. I don't like that show either. I was
Dragon
gonna
Ball.
say Dragon Ball. Yeah.
Dragon
Dragon
Beast
Ball.
Ball. No,
Yo,
Okay,
hold on real quick. Shadow's bell just sounded really bad. It sounded
that
like a
was a
buzzer.
buzzard.
Has my
So
bell
I
been
think,
sounding like that? Because
I think
I
the
just
most.
wanted to check because that sounded terrible, Shadow. So that's like if something's bad, you do that.
No, I think the worst thing that we've ever brought to the space is the bell
No,
and the
if
buzzer.
someone says
Cop out.
something, in my opinion, that's just I 100% disagree with, is gonna be the buzzer for me. Like, what did you say yesterday?
All right, let's go to Anya. She had her hand up. I'm not doing no. Anya, what's up? Save us from the buzzer.
You muted everyone, so I couldn't say anything. No,
Oh, sorry.
okay. Um, I'm sorry. I'm subject changing because I have to go. um, you guys were talking about a topic earlier, with regard to hearing like the founders talk on a spaces, or that there may have been like a preference for it to be held in Discord. And we had just talked about that in a team meeting, and I was wondering what the preferences are for that, because majority felt like doing it in Discord is a bad idea. They saw what had happened with Azuki, where people were just streaming it to Twitter anyways, and so thoughts. I'd love to pick your brains on this. And with that, I gotta go. So I'm gonna go sit in the audience, and you guys have fun.
I agree with Anya. Like, I think what Azuki did with the AMA thing, it sounded like a good idea, but actually, see, Anya, thank you for being here. But yeah, I think it's probably not the best idea because I think in Web3 space we still do need what they did is like they delivered concrete plans. We're gonna do A, B, Z, A to Z and stuff like that. And I think Web3 space still does need a bit of speculation, and I think that's the fun part of being in Web3. We can still speculate, imagine what the world is going to be like. What we're just talking just now, what the hell's One Piece? What is Artifact? I think that's still the fun part of being in Web3. I think if they, just give it, like, oh, we're going to make whatever cartoon show. How long is that going to take? It's going to take a year or two. So, people don't have that kind of patience, especially in Web3. I know you guys wanted to have more communication and products and whatnot, but I think we just need updates, but probably again trust the process and see how it goes. But I do feel, yeah, if like Cass can hang out and whoever can represent the artifacts, from the founder side and just hang out and like keep on having like this close connection to the founders, I think it would be pretty dope. It doesn't have to be them, but somebody from like the community manager side, I think that would be dope. That's my
Yo, so
take.
that's two people that have said that the AMAs can turn into it's a really good intentions gone wrong, and so therefore a big waste of time. So right, isn't that what you just said, Sushi?
And that's why it's like I don't think AMA is like, bro, like we just.
Yeah, so I think that we got to listen, because I think both those points I heard them. Like it's like, so then the proper engagement is if like you have the founders, it's probably like a preset interview, and you just like get to know them type thing, right? And then, I do think speculation is extremely important. So maybe even just saying that, it's like, look, we're going to keep a lot of this, and if they say in the team meeting, I know, it's like, well, we've told them before that we're going to keep some of the secretive to keep it fun. It's like, well, tell us again, right? I think, there's a lot of new people, and so you could reiterate that. But so Sushi, what did you, was it just people like hosting spaces during the days, like that you think is like the proper amount of like just presence where people felt like they could, because you got compound here at night, but I think were those people paid by the team, or how did that work?
Like the Zuki spaces? No, I think they're just community spaces just like this. But Dem, like again, I think Bombay mentioned Dem is one of those. I think the community lead right now. He was a product lead back then, but now he's always there, just joining and talking, and like he represents the Azuki kind of like upper ranks people, and always kind of communicating, and always trying to when there are these questions, he always finds an answer, and like we're doing something, we're planning, and we're talking with you guys, and he's constantly in communications with the community. You know what I mean? But yeah,
Great,
Bombay.
that's super helpful. Go ahead.
Yeah,
No,
you
no,
go
I
ahead,
think.
Bombay.
Yeah, I totally just like swiped down, but like okay, with I think the Azuki AMA was different because it was just like a massive event that happened and like there was like all eyes, right? And I think that's what the problem is like when the longer you go without hosting like a space, like the more like you get eyes on you. That's like I think like okay, like say we're talking about an announcement, like okay, put it on Twitter, but if we're doing okay, quick update on shipping, like I like Discord because it's holders only and it's like for the community and like you can just focus on something a little more specific and like just get it done and like it's more of a tight circle and you can kind of create that bond within the community. I think there's both where like and then there's a place where there's a time and place where you can do it on Twitter when you have something to talk about or there's a like, announcement we can learn more about it and they want to field questions from all over because then there's gonna be all anyone can come and talk, right? I like Discord because it's more of like a family type of feel, and it's tight knit. Um, and they can just even have a space where it's like just the founders talking and there's no questions, bro. Like that, I think that's okay in my eyes, and they're just talking about some stuff, what they got going on. Here's a quick little update. They got shipping orders coming out, and then boom, shut it down. That's it. It's a little conference call, and we're all silent investors listening into it. I like that. I like Discord because that's where I'm chilling at, anyways. So yeah, it's whatever they want to do at the end of the day.
What up, Shadow? Or Baron? Sorry.
Yo, real quick. So today there was like 3 good pieces of information that were put out that was basically answering questions. Like Yarlin's was a really good tweet. That should be on a message board somewhere. Like the founders need to be around. Like they don't need, like, I think, even when Zap came in spaces early on, he would never say anything, It's kind of his MO is to be like the little like lurker, and it's kind of fun to have him there. And, so.
Wouldn't it be nice, Baron, if like Zap or Chris came in a Discord, tagged clone holders, wrote up a little paragraph about what's going on,
Yeah.
and then boom, there you go.
Or just, and even if it's not about what's going on, because it's not the time and place, like, they can just, when they hop in there, people get fired up, they love it. So even if it's like to be like, what up, clones, and, maybe like utilize that announcements page on the Discord was a good reference point. It's like, do I need to know anything? No. All right, great. I don't need to engage in Twitter today. I can go about my grass. You know what I mean?
Do it in Discord, bro. I love this. Dude, one thing about Azuki does great is they have constant community pings of Azuki holders in their Discord. So anytime there's a community run space, there's an at all Azuki holders in the community in the Discord that goes out. So there's like every single one, right? And that's them doing it. That's not even like the founders. It's the community manager doing it.
Yeah.
I know we used to. Yeah.
So real quick before I forget, because I will forget, by having a post of announcements and if you're going to have like, and having, just that alone, right? It creates a safety gap for the team to say, no, the information's there. You're just not paying attention. And right now they don't have that. It's like it's discombobulated. So it's another reason why I think it's like Dunk Genesis. We can't tell you what's happening, but right here it says it's coming. That was in Yarlin's tweet today. It's like that should be an announcement, and I think that will be really helpful for us as holders to be able to tell people what's going on, and it's helpful for the new people as they come in. Go ahead. Sorry, Shadow. And sorry, Bombay, because I did get out and I need to go on mute.
God damn it. Remind me what we're answering again. I had something. I just gotta remember it. When y'all tell me, I remember.
I don't think there was a question, Shadow.
Yeah, there was.
I guess there's been. Was there?
Yeah, if the founders were to get on Spaces or to get on a like a chat Spaces, would it be through Discord or Twitter? Like,
Gotcha.
What the preference medium is?
Yes. So, okay, yeah, I remember now. Thank you very much for that. I was trying to figure out, bro. Everybody needs to have delicate cash. It needs to be mandatory. Everything crypto. I don't understand why people don't do it. And I don't understand why there's 3 different verifications for what you hold for a Discord that you join. There's Collab, there's Valken, there's all these different. Just use one thing, bro. We all got to get on the same page. Okay. Here's my answer to that question. I'm a Discord guy. I know it sounds weird because I'm, Twitter thread demon, all that good stuff. Discord, in my opinion, is where it's at. Discord is where me and my Web3 friends, like in my other community, that's where we like hop on like a group call and we're just chatting away about just random NFT stuff, right? You can call, you can FaceTime, you can DM. Like communication wise is amazing when you're trying to communicate with friends and peers. Trying to find information is better on Twitter. So here's how I look at it. If the goal is to get as many people in the space to get as many information out there as fast as possible, then it needs to be in the Twitter space, because unfortunately there's some people that just don't even know how to use Discord. In my opinion, once you understand how to use Discord, it's more intuitive than Twitter, obviously, but it just doesn't reach as many people. There's no like thread that algorithm puts everything together. Everything's separated, so you only see stuff on a general page that you actually want to see, depending on what community you want to look into at that moment in time. Um, but I do like what the Azukis do. I do like when they have when things get serious, when it's time to be serious and to do some house cleaning or to clear up a matter that happened. I think it is best to do it in a Discord and only have holders are able to come up and ask questions and things of that nature. But if it's just lighthearted, getting the information out there, catching up with the community, I think it's fine to do it in the space. So what I say is, it depends on the matter at hand. Do you want to be more intimate with your community? Go to Discord. Do you want to talk to your community and people outside of the community and even haters and fudders at the same time? Then you do it on Twitter. Um, I really wish there was another alternative, but those are the only two tools that we got right now. We live on two platforms. If Discord and Twitter blew up tomorrow, we would all be fucked. So
Everybody would be on Threads, bro. I don't know where we would go after that. We'd be like, yeah, we'd be screwed, bro. You be catching me on Telegram. I started my crypto journey. My Ethereum journey was started on Telegram, bro. And if you didn't come up in Telegram groups, the most toxic places on the internet, Telegram crypto groups are toxic. Then did you really come up in Ethereum, bro? Like, did you really do? I don't know, man. That's some DeFi projects that like all pump and dumps. Yeah, we'd be back on Telegram, and it wouldn't be pretty. What's up, Bombay?
I don't know. I'm going to Discord, so you can rug this bitch if you wanna.